Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bargain Bin, a show about speedrunning games all under $20. I'm your host, Midnight Vesper, and if you're new here, well, here's how this works. For more current/digital games, we'll be using a wide selection of stores like Steam, GOG, itch.io, Ubisoft, etc. to look at the list/MSRP price. For retro games, we'll be using a wide assortment of price charting websites and looking at the list price of the game. We do not count any sales or discounts as they vary from time of purchase. Couple announcements for you real fast. Do not forget that France Fatale's 2023 price submissions are open now until February 20th. You can head on over to GameZoneQuick.com for more information or use !prizes in Twitch chat to submit your prizes. And do not forget that Unapologetically Black and Fast is coming up February 11th through the 12th. Celebrate Black excellence and speedrunning coming up next month. Use !UBAF in Twitch chat for more information. And finally, if you want to follow what GDQ is up to, use !links in chat for all things GDQ. Now, for today on our show, we're going to have zombies, horses, and Reptar? Yep, that's right. We're going to be showcasing, Left 4 Dead 2, Shadow of the Colossus. But first, that's all coming up later. But first, we have our good buddy Raging Red Neck here to showcase Rugrats. How are you doing today, Ben?
I'm doing good. You know what? I want everyone to say my name like that from now on, with a big space in between the bad word.
Look at all the toys.
I'm doing okay. We're here to run some Rugrats Search for Reptar. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready.
Whenever you're ready.
Sure. I will go ahead and restart the console. This is the first thing that we do so we can set up the manip. It runs on a global timer, so that's why we have to reset the console every session. Or if you're playing on emulator, you just reset from a save point. That's what I recommend. See, I didn't even realize that was the whole gimmick of the bargain bin. Under $20. I think I bought this for maybe $18 a long time ago.
It works. I can't wait to see the speedrun. I think I vaguely remember the game as a kid, though.
Oh, I played it so much as a kid, and obviously it came over to when I became an adult, and this was the first game I picked up when I was speedrunning. All right, so coming up is when we start. So I'll give you a countdown. Well, maybe I'll just say now. It's better. The timing's a little wonky. All right, just get ready. And now. All right, cool. So I'm going to make sure I do not mess up this manip. All right, should be good. That little movement right there, that's all the manip is.
Wow.
Yeah, somehow it works out to be one of the best setups. So all the babies on this on the level will be right there, and there'll be one that's gonna be right behind here. And it just works out one of the quickest ways to start the game is the best manip. It's actually the second best, but you would have to wait, I think, 17 hours to get the best result on the startup screen.
Wow, 17 hours?
Yeah, because the iterations that the RNG is based on the sounds that the game makes through walking and talking and stuff like that. So each sound is like a call for the RNG, and then it just adds up and adds up and adds up. We don't even know if it actually resets the global timer eventually. Who knows? It just goes on forever, and we basically think it's gonna go on forever. Yep, that's all the manip is. That was the first level. So now we're going to go to Circus Angelicus. And the purpose of... Oh, get up there. And the purpose of this level is it allows us to break our jump. So right now our jump is a little small, but during one part of this level, it will glitch out and allow us to jump even further, which allows us to get downstairs easy and just jump around a lot easier, faster. Especially with Spike. And for this section of the level right here, theoretically you can get an 82 is the fastest you can get, but no one's ever gotten it. Oh yeah, I should mention all the levels that you see me playing are based on real episodes of the TV show.
Oh, really? I didn't know that actually.
And yep, just 81. Yeah, some of them are changed a little bit just to make it fun to play as a game. But I can't really remember what this episode was about on TV.
I think the only thing that I fully remember of Rugrats is just the Reptar theme.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be playing as Reptar. He's the main event.
Don't be such a baby.
And just do that a little bit quicker. You don't have to go all the way out. And now our jump is broken, so now we can jump all over the place if we wanted to. All right, so we're going to get caught by Angelica here because that allows us to eat the cookies faster for some reason when we restart, which is faster than if we never got caught before. And now that our jump is broken, I will attempt to get down the stairs in one go to go find our Mr. Friend. I hit the side.
Oof. Still good though.
Oh yeah. And shockingly enough, these Mr. Friends are actually RNG as well. The rate at which they get up after you hit them is RNG. Yeah, that's about average. Let's see. Are they gonna get stuck inside? Ooh, we got a double hit. That's pretty good.
Nice.
That means they both get up at the same time. Oh my god! Oh my god! Such good RNG.
Wow.
That was a gold if I was timing it. I'll go back for myself and time it. All right, now we have Mirrorland, which is one of the most annoying levels because you have these 2D balloons in a 3D space. Depth perception just does not line up.
That happened a lot in this era of games, I feel like.
Yeah, but I don't give them that much credit. This game came out in 1998. You had a couple years to figure this out.
You also may have had Nintendo as well.
It's true. They only had one Nintendo Reptar game. Well, Nintendo 64 rather. And it was like the Scavenger Hunt, which was like a big board game.
Yeah.
So, particularly for this level, I'm looking out to see if I get double hits on these balloons. If you land on top of them in a certain angle, it'll count as 2 balloons instead of 1. Didn't get any on this though. And that would just allow you to skip some balloons on the way out.
I meant to say this earlier, and I totally forgot because I forgot Chucky's name, but like Chucky without eyes was just different in this game.
Oh yeah, all the models are kind of wonky looking, especially Dee Dee, Tommy's mom. You might see her. Well, I don't know if you see her because oh my gosh. Another thing about this game, the camera is your biggest enemy. It does not want to help out. But yeah,
Nice in modern games. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like just Dee Dee, Tommy's mom looks really messed up. Like she doesn't even have a nose, basically. I don't think.
I never noticed this until like a couple days ago when I was talking to a friend about it. The main character with red hair as a baby named Chucky is also the scaredy cat. I don't know if that was intentional or not.
Yeah, probably. I think all kids named Chucky have to be redhead by law. Right. I missed any? No, I'm good.
I see
really
Chad
particular
is
about the pattern.
I see Chad is very much in a nostalgic mood right now, which I'm enjoying.
This game is very nostalgic for me. I played it a ton when I was a kid. Even though the game is so short, like even if you were doing it casually, like all levels would probably maybe take like an hour and a half. Hey, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I wasn't timing. I don't have my splits up.
Sometimes it's good when you do.
I'll go for the glitch on this level. It's really dumb, but I'll go for it. It has like no shot of working, but why not? It's a marathon. I'll lose like 5 seconds if I don't get it. But I gain like 10 if I do. Or is it more? It's probably more. There we go. That's a good jump. Alright,
Nice.
so we take this block, which has special properties, and we will try our best to line it up. No way! Okay.
Nice. Let's go. Let's go.
I had no anticipation that was going to work. But yeah, that block will allow you to clip through. Because they
That's
put
awesome.
I forget if it's the top part of the gate doesn't have collision, the bottom part does. They weren't thinking, but we were.
Nice job with that, though.
That's the first time I've gotten it in a run. I don't go for it in runs.
Well, I mean, of all the places to try it and get it.
I know. It's the magic.
Yeah.
This level doesn't have too much going on for it. It's pretty much just go to the end and that's it. You get these little floaty controls, but that's nothing. It's a lot more interesting if you're doing 80% because then you're using the laser to hit the Reptar bars off screen. All right, time for big RNG. So we're going to do the spike level, and spike can be in 1 to 6 different places. 5 of them are upstairs, and 1 of them is outside. If it's outside, then that's a big time loss because I play the odds and go upstairs. Theoretically, outside is the fastest if you wanted to go for it. But it's so not worth it if he's not up there.
Take that.
Booga booga booga. Okay, there we go.
Good jumping. Those go scare me.
I know, they go oogie boogie boogie or something if they get up on you. Alright, come on, Spike. Not the best. Second. Nope.
Here, spiky, spiky, spiky.
Okay, that's average. I'll take it.
It works.
Alright, for this one, I'm going to try to angle myself behind Lil to shield me from Angelica. Come on, move. Can she get me from there? She can. A little weird, but we got her. Oh my god, she's moving! How did she do that? Usually she gets stuck behind Lil. Alright, time for the other big RNG level, which is Cynthia. Cynthia also has 6 different spots she can be in. None of them are as bad as outside Spike, so relatively we'll be okay. If she's in like the first 4 spots, would be good. Yeah, but this is my favorite level because I like the movement with Spike. Especially with the broken jump, he jumps really far.
It's a good jump, though.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what type of dog Spike is.
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think he's like a real... He's not like a real breed, is he? No dog looks like that. He doesn't even look like Scooby-Doo.
Maybe a caricature of one?
Yeah. Because I'm thinking, what dog has floppy ears like that?
I feel like if anything, chat will help us.
Yeah. I'm not a big dog breed guy. I know Labradoodles, that's about it.
And if not, then YouTube, because we'll be on YouTube. Also, hi, YouTube. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
Okay, I checked
yeah,
the best spot. She wasn't there. Let me go check these 2 spots. Nope, but she's usually in this 4th spot. And she's not there. Okay, this is bad RNG. Which is fine. We'll just do a couple more jumps. There she is.
I'm seeing in chat, Siberian Tusker Hound. Someone said that they mentioned it in the movie. Golden Retriever mix. I see someone say, "Let me do it for you" as a TikTok reference.
Okay, can I thread the needle? Okay, good. I avoided the bonk and I avoided him climbing up on that little shelf area. That's good. And we recently discovered a new glitch for this level, but it is very dumb. I will not be going for it. Much dumber than the one I actually got. So we will do the regular strat, which also includes a glitch, thanks to the long jump we have.
There got to be some way out of here.
So we get these Reptar boxes. We can grab them. There we go. Do a no-look pass.
Now, did they get the actual voice actors for this game, or are they other individuals? Do you know?
No, these are actually the voice actors, yeah. I think all of them, actually.
That's awesome.
There got to be some way out of here.
And with the jump that we just got from Circus Angelicus, we can make this jump from Reptar to right there. So you're normally supposed to get like, I think, like 5 of these boxes, but we can do it in 3. There we go. A little hang up on, but all around okay. Oh, come on. Not close enough for you?
Nothing to be scared of.
Alright, let's see how good my gold rush is.
I believe.
109 is like the best you can get. Again, this is another problem with having 2D objects in a 3D world. Depth perception still off. And they're all, there's gold coin, I can't speak, gold coins in this level, but we don't pick those up. Those are just special coins if you want more Reptar bars. Okay, I knew that was gonna happen.
So I know you said earlier at the beginning of this that you used to play this thing a lot when it first came out, stuff like that. Was that the reason why you decided to pick up the speedrun?
Yeah, it was the first speed one I ever picked up because I was looking at all these different runs. Like, oh, I like Crash, I like Spyro, but they look too technical. Like, too many good people are already playing it. You know, I was like, I was never going to be like one of those people. So I just found Rugrats. I was like, I could do this. Yeah, because 80%, the category I mostly run is like 15-minute run. It's easy enough. I don't have to do 2 hours of insane movement.
Yeah. It's also good that for your first run to pick up a game that you know very well, since you're going to be playing it a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. If Larry can get his legs up, we need them up so we can get multiple hits. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Okay. Come on, get him up. Get him up. Oh, they're up. Okay, that works.
Oh, wow. That was nice.
Yeah, it took a little finagling to get it, but we got it. Now we take this big jump here to avoid the slippery water. Not too good, but... And for some reason, there's like a little tunnel right here. You can just skip everything else.
I appreciate the names of these, where it says toilet and towels.
Oh yeah, you know what to pick up.
Exactly.
No
yeah.
ambiguity. And we can just bypass the lobster by just outrunning him. Normally you're supposed to do like roll cans at him to freeze him, but nah. Alright, time to go fight the goose. Well, we're not going to fight him, but we're going to try to get in front of him.
Does that mean we have to get some emotes ready?
Oh yeah, get your honks ready. He'll honk a lot. We have to go get Grandpa's teeth so we can eat his potato salad.
Goose chase.
That's like actually part of the episode. I remember this episode.
Which way now?
And then the
So
goose
was-
has to
Are we lost?
say what? No, the goose has Grandpa's teeth, and that's why we go fight the goose to get his teeth back.
So while I know this is the names that the search for Reptar, is there a thematic theme throughout this entire game, or is it just each level is based off of an episode of the show?
No, each oh my god, I can't speak. Each level is based on a episode. Oh, he got in front of me. Come on, can I get on the replay? Yes, I got in front of him. Okay, cool. That works. Much faster. Because the goose is slow.
That goose sure
But yeah, each of these levels is based on an episode. Like in the TV show, Tommy actually does ride Spike and tries to chase down the goose that has Chucky. And at one point, you do play shuffleboard on the TV show, I believe. I'm not entirely sure.
Help! Make him stop!
There's just
So,
so
yeah.
much of this show I've totally forgotten about.
Oh, it's a classic. Just don't watch All Grown Up.
We were talking about that beforehand, and I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, come on. That hit him. Okay, 2 seconds slower than optimal.
It happens. It's about enjoying the run.
All right. Now we're going to have the People's Champion mini golf. Everyone loves the mini golf.
Chat was all about that earlier.
Yeah. So try to get hole-in-ones. That's the name of the game here. Let's see. That's perfect. I took a little conservative to make sure. So you actually overhit it and it'll like bounce out. So
Nice.
just be on the safe side.
All in one.
Let's see. Can I do this one?
I can do this.
I think that's a good alignment.
That ice cream now?
Cool. So for the third one, there's actually a trick. You have 3 frames to get a hole-in-one if you want to try it. And I'll go for it. Why not? If you don't get it, you lose like 10 seconds. If you do get it, you save 7. All right, 3 frames. Ooh, that's close. That might have gotten it. Oh, that got it. Cool.
Nice. Nice job. It's a good run. This is a great run so far.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, maybe we'll check what the time is. Maybe I'll get a sneaky world record. Who knows?
Where's that ice cream anyways?
All right. I was a little conservative on that one because you want to like get it just enough to get around the hill, but if you don't, the ball slowly rolls right back to you and it wastes so much time. We're just making sure we're getting them in there. Oh, okay. Was that too much? Really? Okay.
Oh my goodness.
That's what happens when it's too hard. Unfortunate.
You want a year's supply of nothing.
Yeah, the commentator for this level is an all-timer. He has so many good one-liners.
Chat's been talking about it too. Chat's been wondering all about the ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I did
If we
see.
get a whole... Say, what was that?
No, go ahead. Finish.
I'm gonna
I was going to say, on the last hole, if we get a hole-in-one, chat gets ice cream. That's the meme. Free
Nice.
ice cream.
So
Right, this
that
one's a little
also
tough.
segues into the question: what is your favorite flavor of ice cream? Because I did see that as a question in chat, and I guess chat answer as well.
1 second. Let me make sure I can get this. Ooh, that might be off. Oh, just barely.
This is
Okay.
harder than
Favorite
it
flavor of
looks.
ice cream? I would say anything with cinnamon or... Let's see. Let me see cinnamon. Like a vanilla cinnamon kind of crunch. Ooh, it has to have some crunch in it too. Yeah. If it has like those 3 like basics, like I will be all over it.
Ooh,
This is hard.
I know some people who like love like double chocolate and triple chocolate, but I hate chocolate ice cream so much. Like chocolate ice cream is just like its own thing. Like chocolate by itself is good. Chocolate ice cream, I don't know what happened to it. Right. This ain't the perfect lineup, but it may work. Yeah, it'll work.
That's a good setup. I see a lot in there. Strawberry. Someone's eating sorbet right
good.
now.
Sorbet. Ooh, that sounds good.
Mint chip. That's all.
Okay. I can do mint chip sometimes, but I really like mint brownie. That's a lot better. The chips is what gets me.
I've not had that as ice cream.
There's a Ben and Jerry's flavor that's mint and brownies. I used to eat it all up.
Check that out.
Yeah. Okay, this is a toughie. Oh, good lord. I usually never get this angle. I'm going in blind. Oh, this is going... I've probably messed that up, yeah.
You don't want all that ice cream anyway.
Actually, I did have the angle. I just didn't trust myself.
Oh, it's so close.
I gave up on the shot because I thought it wasn't going to like be angled right.
Yeah.
All right. This one should be pretty straightforward. Let's see if we can get some free ice cream.
You want a year's supply of nothing.
Yay, Chet gets ice cream.
All right, chat. Way to go. Enjoy your ice cream, chat.
All right, just 2 more levels. We have Egg Hunt, which is completely RNG. The eggs... Well, there's certain patterns you can get, but the eggs are RNG. Let's see. What pattern do we get? Ooh, is there one in this corner? Yes. They all have themes. Like some of them are in corners, some of them are in the bathroom, some are in the garage. So we always just check those. Like I know how to sneak around corners because I bet they're hanging out there. Yeah. Any in the bathroom? Yeah, always behind that toilet.
I feel like I vaguely remember this episode.
Easter eggs? Ooh, I don't know. I can't remember. Too long ago.
Yeah, but it seems like such a common theme that I wouldn't be surprised if I.
I bet it's something like Angelica like hid all the eggs and like the babies cried because they couldn't get the eggs.
Yeah. Seems like something Angelica would do.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Ooh, I'm missing one. Okay. Where did it go? There it is. Oh, that's hiding right behind it.
Apparently,
all right, time for the last level.
Apparently, chat is going off and saying the egg hunt was the one that wasn't an episode. So obviously, if I remember it, then I'm remembering something different.
Oh, you got me then. Right, we got 1 more minute. Once we get through this, yes. Okay, and here's the final level. We're 13 years in the past. But it's basically just an auto-scroller. Not even the auto-scroller, there's some tech to it, but you just walk around, destroy buildings. You can breathe fire if you want, but that loses time.
So there's no episode about Stu making pudding?
Hold on. There was definitely an episode about Stu making pudding. It wasn't the main point, but
I was talking about in the game.
Oh, no. We wish. We should make a mod for it.
Let's add an extra. We'll make extra DLC, and it'll just be of Stu just making pudding at 4 a.m.
Come on, big jump. There we go, big guy. All right, time's coming up. When the screen goes completely black is when it's time. I'll just say when it is. Because once he rounds this corner, and time.
GG.
Cool. What'd I get?
Give it a moment, and I'll let you know. In the meantime, while we wait for that to happen, if anyone was interested, maybe they want to see that this game looked really fun. I want to see what the any percent category looks like, or maybe they're interested in wanting to know more about the run in general, where would they go?
They can go to our Discord. If you go to speedrun.com, we have the Discord, should be pinned as one of the forum topics. It's it's a nice community. Everyone will help you out. I mean, it's really easy speedrun to learn. There's really only like a couple tricks. Most of it is just getting your lines right and just movement stuff. Yeah, everyone's really welcoming and helping. I mean, really small community. So if you just want to hang out and not, just be like a fish in a large pond, but yeah.
Yeah. Time was 26:33.
Ain't too bad. Yeah.
Oh. And
world records at 25:27, so yeah.
Not bad.
Right.
Not bad. And if anyone wanted to follow you,
oh, don't follow me. I'm not worth it. You can find me on Twitter. Is it Raging Redneck SR? Is this profile name? On Twitch, it's Raging Redneck. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I don't really run that much. I have a job. I'm sorry.
All right, and finally, any other shout outs you'd like to give for the community? Anyone else?
Sure. Yeah, I'll shout out a lot of the community members. Plywood's a good guy. One named Lucas is good. Who else runs the game? I can't even. There's one guy with a bunch of numbers. I can't say them. But yeah, everyone's a good person. Oh, Froglet is a good person. Yeah, in the community. Yeah. All right, I think that's it for me. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for showcasing Rugrats. Do not forget that coming up next is Left 4 Dead 2. While we get all that set up, this is a great time to get up, stretch, use the restroom, hydrate, all of that fun jazz. And do not forget your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits tiered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick with awesome Games Done Quick 2023 costs, including hotel cancellation costs. Please consider subscribing to help support Games Done Quick. We'll be right back with Left 4 Dead 2. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Bargain Bin, show about speedrunning games all under $20. I'm still your host, Midnight Vesper, and let's go straight into our next run with Acids running Left 4 Dead 2. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fantastic. I can't wait for this.
All right, so we'll just get right into it. So this is the category we're running is main campaign solo, and the goal of this is to complete the 5 campaigns that the game shipped with originally in 2009 in a single sitting.
Yeah, and I'm RS Killer, just one of the commentators. And I think I'm here
uncultivated.
Yeah. Basically, at the start of
this,
yeah, time starts right now. He's going to be running the 5 original campaigns, like you said, which is Carnival, Parish, Swamp, Dead Center, and Hard Rain. In that order, he'll be running in. So you don't have to run them in the correct order. We allow, because of the way Left 4 Dead's made, you can run them in any order. The goal is just to complete the 5 as fast as possible. You can see at the start. Yeah, sorry.
My bad.
At the start there, he killed the bots. We're not allowed to kick the bots because the kick command is against the rules, obviously. So you have to kill the bots, otherwise waiting for them to get to the safe room for the level to end takes a long time. So it's just faster to kill them.
They're very, very, very slow and you're very fast, so it saves sometimes literal minutes if the worst case scenario happens.
Mm-hmm. So right there, if you have enough speed, because a lot of this level, what he's doing is b-hopping. Just a general trick in most Source games. In Left 4 Dead, you have to time it. It's tick perfect. Every single one of the b-hops is tick perfect. If you have enough speed, you can get over that fence back there that he tried to jump over. Here, however, it looks like he just had to go around. This is about 5 seconds. So, just important to note that in a lot of other Source games like Portal, you can just spam the mouse wheel. You can't do that in Left 4 Dead. Every single one has to be on the tick. Because in Portal, friction doesn't apply. Like, there's friction in that game, and you slowly lose speed. So if you hit it a little late, you only lose a little bit of speed. In this game, your speed just gets set to your basic running speed if you miss the first tick. So it has to be tick perfect, tick perfect, tick perfect. So spamming does not work. You have to time it. And if you try to spam, that considers it as like holding space, which doesn't work. Yeah, and obviously he's changing the difficulty to expert to kill the bots, and then changing back to easy because the category is any difficulty. So
There
this
is
game's-
expert realism too, which is a much more difficult run where you play on realism, which does a couple things like makes we'll probably see crowning, which is somewhere in the run. You can't do that anymore. You don't see outlines, all that good stuff, and expert is very brutal. You take a lot of damage.
yeah, this game is already not designed to be soloed. Like, it's very like so. Even on easy, this game is very dangerous, and you can die like a charger. If it gets you, you die. If a jockey gets you, you die. If a hunter gets you, you die. A smoker gets you, you die. There's nothing you can really do. On expert, it makes that worse, but on easy, it's already hard enough. So for the sake of marathon, you want to run easy. One thing that's nice about easy compared to expert is tanks do not one-hit you, so he can usually just kind of safely play around them.
So I did see a quick question in chat that asked, does holding space work, or do you have to constantly hit it to when you jump?
You have to
Constantly hit it.
Yeah, you have to hit it every you have to time it. There's no spamming it. There's no holding it.
It's
You have
you
to
have a
time it.
33 millisecond window to hit a bunny hop in this game. If you're later than that, then your speed gets capped back to walking movement speed.
Yeah. So there's no like easy way to be hop in this game. It's thousands and thousands of hours of practice. It's like it takes most runners at least a couple hundred hours before they can even like come close to times in the low 50 minutes for this category, which is I think Acid's PB is under 50 minutes. So
Yeah, my PB is 48:34 in the world records, 45:36.
yeah, pretty insane. Both insane
And-
ones.
For comparison, if you don't do any bee hopping, you're just running, walking, doing basically every trick. When you tested it, I'm not sure if you omitted any major ones, but doing basically every trick, you get about a 53 minute, and the world record is, I think, 46 minutes. So bee hopping saves you a lot of time over a run if you're good at it.
I mean, it definitely saves more than that because the world record misses B hops. Like in an ideal world, you hit every B hop,
Oh,
right?
I
That's
just-
not humanly realistic.
Accidentally
Ooh.
shoved.
Ah,
That was
yeah.
a
So.
goofy mistake.
Luckily, so this is one thing with dying in this game is you will probably die in a run. Like obviously to get the world record, you have to grind it out. But you'll probably die a couple times in this run. So the later you die in a level, the worse it is. Luckily that one is at the start of the level, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Like you can die at the end of the level and you have to do the entire level all over again.
Very punishing in that regard.
Yeah, it's a very, very punishing game. Luckily, the top runners are very, very good at this game and probably won't die too many times. So when they do die, it'll be, or I mean that death in particular, very, very minor death. So actually got the same witch again. It's pretty funny. Yeah, there's a lot of RNG in this game, and it actually like changes the route of some levels. This level, not too much. In the last level, he could have gotten a tank in a certain area to do a tank boost to skip the last section. Like just random stuff like that. That's pretty neat. Here, he's coming up to one of the bigger tricks in the run, which is coaster skip.
Definitely one of the more well-known and
Yeah. So this event here, normally you have to start the coaster and you chase like a coaster all the way around the tracks, but instead Valve forgot to clip a lot of stuff, so you can just kind of climb the scaffolding. And if you know where all of the like actual clipped stuff is and not clipped stuff and where all the barriers are, you can kind of just climb around the coaster and skip almost all of it. So
And you can do this in every version. Even today, there are variations of it. It's not the exact same, though, but
yeah,
like you
they-
can
they-
just skip the entire thing.
Valve, when they try to patch stuff, they often accidentally make a new way of doing it. So it just changes it. And it's happened multiple times throughout the game's history. There's a lot of patches that, like, sometimes they'll get something, but there's almost always a way of working around it.
What if that's just intentionally done? They're just testing everyone.
Genius. The Todd Howard approach.
So here's an unlucky RNG element. There's a chance that this fence here won't spawn, and it spawned for me, so I had to jump off the commons heads there to get around that.
Yeah, when Valve or Turtle Rock was marketing the original Left 4 Dead, they decided to use this big approach of the director to make dynamic pathing depending on like what the director thinks you deserve or whatever for your gameplay. In reality, it's just a dice roll. There's no AI overlord deciding what your RNG is in this game.
Just a lot of random checks, basically.
Yeah. We tried for a while to figure out like how, because there's something called an anger level or something, but as far as we can tell, it's completely random. There's no real
Just
manipulating
there.
it. So here, there is kind of a meme skip to skip this entire event, but it requires being very lucky and also a very, very hard trick that like
Well,
is
trick itself isn't
inconsistent.
very difficult,
Well, it's not
but-
hard, but it's inconsistent. Failure.
Yeah. Very inconsistent.
So it saves. It actually saves. It's one of the bigger skips in the run, but it's not something you can realistically get. And the world
not
record
marathon.
doesn't even have it. So, but it saves about 40 seconds, and you can basically get charged through the invisible barrier. So you have to have a certain specific special like spawn, and you need to have it path in a certain way to a spot where you push a table. And then it can charge you, and if you use a Molotov or a pipe bomb to kill it after it charges you, it can pull you through the wall. Very, very hard to execute.
Gosh.
And if you don't get a charger and it's slow, like we're talking potentially minutes of waiting for it, so you might think, why not just try it out? But it's not quite that simple. Plus, just waiting by the table, it adds up quickly.
Yeah. So here he's actually gonna. It kind of looked like he just downed the bots because they spawned pretty luckily. But he's actually going to down the bots specifically in certain spots of the safe room because we're not allowed to use the kick command in the console, but the game has its own kick section here. So we're going to kick 2 of the bots intentionally. Because when you start this finale, there's this big trigger back there that covers almost everything before the finale area. Before the gate closes, except for one little section of the safe room, which is where Rochelle was, I think, Rochelle. So when he starts the finale, everyone but Rochelle will get kicked. Yeah, so basically now he only has 1 bot to kill for the rest of the run. He wanted to keep 1 bot in particular because it helps with, in particular, Dead Center Atrium and Swamp Fever finale. So it's pretty relevant for those 2 campaigns, or two levels in particular. So you do need 1 bot. You don't need it, but
Has a lot
Much
more RNG
easier
if you
with
try to
it.
play botless, but it is
Yeah.
theoretically faster, given ideal conditions.
so here he's using a god spot. If you stand on certain broken navs in any finale, because in finale your goal is just basically in finales, most of them are structured horde, horde, tank, horde, horde, tank. And so if you just stand in a god spot, the hordes will despawn, and it's faster than you can deal with them by killing them. So basically,
First tank just spawned.
yeah, and you can get a bad tank. It is possible, in which case you'll have to kill it. It's pretty rare though.
Tank just died.
Yeah, but usually the hordes will just despawn, and then the tank will just die after like 6 seconds of not being able to path. It's just Valve has like a safe thing in it just to kill it if it can't function.
He just gives up.
Yeah. So he's using a different god spot now because he'll be doing a trick at the end of this campaign, which is 50-50. We literally call it coin toss because you're tossing a coin as to whether you save this
15
time.
seconds.
Yeah. It's like 15 to, yeah, it's 20 seconds or so if you include,
Yeah,
I
basically
guess.
on this finale, the helicopter can land on either the opposite side of me or close to me here. And for some reason, when the helicopter lands on the close side, it will the escape trigger will spawn for a 1/10 of a second when the helicopter like initially spawns in. And so if you're standing in the like the trigger zone during that time, then you will finish the campaign 15 seconds early, basically.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense as to why that's in the game, but it is, so.
And not on the other side either, just
Yeah.
for some reason.
Just on this side. So you basically, it's just a 50-50 coin toss as to whether the helicopter comes to this side or that side, as to whether you save 15 seconds here. Which is some of the worst RNG in the run to deal with. Just annoying. So here the second tank is... once the second tank dies, he's going to go...
I got it.
Yeah, so...
Let's go.
He told us to be be quiet there because he has to hear it. He has to hear the helicopter as to whether he votes or not. So...
I'm actually in the wrong campaign, so I'm just going to quickly switch to the campaign I intended to go to.
It's a little bit of RTA time loss, but that wouldn't actually lose much time on the leaderboard because we don't time loads given PC and like fairness. People have different PCs.
Yeah.
And so now we're on the parish, and we only have one bot.
So we kind of order the campaigns. It's kind of preference up to this point for runners, but almost everyone's kind of come to the same conclusion. Parish in solo in particular is one of the harder campaigns because in particular level 4. So one of the main reasons we put it so early on in the run is to get the hard stuff out of the way. It's arguable that quarter is the hardest level in the mains, so
Ooh, he got that
generally.
quickly.
Yeah, it's a nice common jump.
Yeah, so this skips over pretty much the entire level, having to go through the buildings. There's also an alternative skip that I normally go for in runs, but that one is much cooler to show off. But prone to time loss if you happen to not get the boost there, so I don't normally go for it for that reason.
Now, I do have a quick question because you just kind of briefly mentioned that, like with load times, and that way people have various amount of PCs that can do things. For someone who may be coming into here or be watching this on YouTube for the first time and know nothing about speedruns, how do you differentiate between someone that has a different computer specs versus someone else so that they can equally have this roughly the same amount of time regardless of what they have internally?
Oh, well, we just, like, because the biggest thing is, like, if you have an SSD, right, the load times in between levels are just going to be longer if you have a hard drive or something. So all loads, in general, we just cut out. Our lovely, we have an auto splitter that I think, who made it? Bill? Bill and Mike worked on it, I think. So they made an auto splitter that removes load times automatically by detecting it, but also our verifiers and our moderators manually remove all loads. Like, they manually retime every run with loads removed, which luckily the game has like a specific visual for us to look at, so you can tell the tick, like the frame it starts to the frame it stops, and we just remove all times between that. So that way, like, if your computer's worse than another, all we count is gameplay. So none of the load times are going to count towards your time.
So here I just skip going around this section here by doing a hop on that
so the
lifted up like foot on the ground there.
Yeah, so there's a lot of common jumps in this game, which basically commons, if they're climbing something and you get on their head, they can boost you upwards. But you use a lot. But the weird thing about that skip actually is it wasn't discovered until way later on because it's hard to get on top of those lockers. Because getting on top of those lockers requires a weird crouch hop into the corner, which gives you like a little tiny...
It can be done standing. There's the main thing. Yeah. You need a bunny hop.
Yeah, and apparently that gives you like a tiny little bit of height, which gets you onto the lockers.
File cabinet, yeah.
Yeah.
So here I got a bile, which actually will save some time. So basically I'm going to throw it right out of bounds at the start here, and none of the common infected will be able to path. And so then up ahead they'll all end up despawning since they'll be out of sight and not able to path anything, and then they will respawn in an area that will be convenient for me.
Hopefully, yeah. It's a little bit of randomness that can happen, but generally SI in this game, as well as like commons and hordes, are on a timer, and the timer can be messed with by, let's say, leaving them alive, because we don't kill many commons. Because you have to, in Left 4 Dead, there's actually a maximum of 30 commons on a map at a time, unless special conditions, there's like certain events and stuff where that's not true, but most of the time there's only 30 commons allowed on the map. So if you leave them alive, they don't respawn, but he needs them to respawn because he's doing a common boost here. So these commons, normally you would wait a long time for them to catch up to you, but because he got that boost really fast, because he threw that bile, caused the commons to despawn because it was out of bounds and they couldn't path to it. So they all spawned here, and he was able to get that really fast.
You don't have that? It can take up to like 30 seconds for commons to actually walk over to you.
Tank spawn here.
Yeah, so this is one of the more dangerous places to get a tank, because the cars won't hit you.
Have a tank. Decent chance that I'm going to take a death here, unless I get. Okay, he's trolling.
Yeah, so it's always like you're always like really worried here because you don't want to shoot a car alarm because that can cause the ladder to get jammed up. But he had to here, and it worked out. They didn't spawn up top. But also the tank can hit a car, and you can't really predict how it's going to bounce, where it's going to bounce, if it's going to kill you, and if it touches you, just touches you, you die. You just die. So it's one of the scarier places to get a tank, and it was pretty unlucky to go in there. But here he's actually so this cemetery completely RNG. There's 4 possible paths. 2 of them give you a straight line through, like he's got here, and 2 of them make you walk in a big maze around and loses like 30 seconds. So he actually got, I think, second best there. So that was
Also
pretty
hit
good.
very good hops, despite the fact that that's very unflat ground. It's very difficult to actually land them.
Yeah, so when you're timing hops, you have to think the ground on flat ground. It's not too bad to consistently hit a hop, right? But a lot of this game, most of this game, is not on flat ground, so it's very, very hard and takes a lot of instinct with understanding the game and how the ground works and when you're going to hit the ground. So here's the hardest level in the run. This is it's a lot of tight corridors. It's really hard to deal with tanks in particular. There's a lot of tank spawns that are very, very hard to deal with on this map. So he's going to hope for a little bit of luck on that. He's actually going to go for a common jump.
Destroyed. Okay. The common just
This jump's
boosted me
really
off.
bad.
Oh,
It's like inconsistent and scary.
yeah. This is one of the harder common jumps in the room.
But he just hits it.
Yeah,
He's just
yeah,
a
that's
god
good.
gamer.
So yeah, there's a big
So that's
invisible
good going
barrier
through that
there.
entire building there, which is nice because you can, avoid whatever might have spawned in there, and also, it's just faster.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a big invisible barrier in front of that wall, and you have to get a boost big enough to go over it. So here, he's going to try to skip this by just hitting hops. 2 crouch hops is good enough to get across. He doesn't hit it. So the backup here is a common jump. Yeah, and he gets it instantly, so that's lucky. That common jump can be very frustrating.
Yeah, that one is very
Run under.
unpredictable. Just gonna grab pill or adrenaline, actually.
So this room is actually very dangerous if you get a tank, but it looks like he doesn't go in yet.
Yeah, it seems I'm getting actually really good luck so far.
Yeah.
Don't want to jinx myself.
Yeah, there's still a little bit left here. This level ends with a big
This common jump
alleyway.
There we go.
So the alleyway can still be a little dangerous. Not to mention the end has usually a lot of
That's
comments.
okay. I just heard the jockey and I started instinctively shooting. I have absolutely no idea how I didn't hit that witch. That was honestly incredible.
That was some
That was
spread
almost
RNG.
bad.
Yeah, so it looks like it'll be a pretty clean quarter, which is lucky, given it's definitely the hardest and most dangerous level in the game. And lucky, I don't think you got a tank at all, huh?
Yeah, I did not get a tank. That was very fortunate. That level can go sideways in a lot of different areas just based off of like one bad chart or one bad jockey or a tank
no.
and a combination of everything else.
One of the hardest in the entire game, and across most versions, I think most would say.
Oh, yeah, on the topic of game versions, which I don't think we covered yet, I'm currently playing this on the release patch of the game, which is known as version 2000 or 2.0.0.0. So this is the release build of the game, which means we have some skips unpatched, and also a neat thing called Infinite Stumble, which we'll be touching on pretty soon.
Yeah, Infinite Stumble is the main reason for being on the release version, as I think it was removed in the very first patch of the game, actually.
Yep.
Like a week after release or so, it'll let us... I mean, there is an alternative way to skip the thing that we use it for, but it's not realistic.
Yeah, it requires getting a tank, so basically just get lucky.
Did a zombie just jump off?
Yeah,
Yep.
they do that on this.
He likes
Yeah.
water, he's a swimmer at heart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if
This
they're on
level
top of
is
something.
a gauntlet finale, so basically I'm just running from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And trying to hit as many hops as possible, which I am currently not doing that great of a job at.
So something... he's going to get there's a guaranteed tank on this level if you start it. You don't have to start it in the co-op run because there's a lot more skips in the co-op. But in the solo run, you're going to get here and there's going to be a tank every time. And luckily, the developers in this level thought, okay, so the tank there, just threw a rock and he got past them easily, so it's not a problem. You can get worse spawns than that. But sometimes you'll hit a car into you, and luckily cars don't one-hit you on this level. Because they put cars everywhere and they realized that would be stupid. So. But if a car hits a car into you, then it one-hits you.
Yeah,
So
then it runs over.
if the tank hits a car into a car, then the normal car physics kick in and that kills you.
Happens to everyone at
Or
least once if they played the game enough.
throws a rock at a car and that car hits you, that also will one-hit kill you on this level.
Which is just absurd.
Yeah, those are some funny ways to die. Also, you can get the really, really fun tank. The thanks for the luck killer tank. It just falls from the sky and hits you off right as you're going over the drop
Going
section.
from the bus into the sideways bridge portion.
So here
I'm
he's
looking
going to
for a
be...
propane tank,
Okay.
which I actually just saw. It's not a very good propane tank spawn, but
Better than none.
it'll be very important for reasons that will become very obvious shortly.
You
Yeah,
can
so
get
this
some
is-
really bad spawns sometimes where you don't even know where it is until it's way too late and you basically either lost 40 seconds or the run entirely, depending on the context.
Yeah, a lot of the time you just restart if you don't see it in the first 2 spots. Like just restart the campaign quick. It takes like 5 seconds, but so basically this propane tank is how we're going to be doing infinite stumble. So we're on release version of the game. If you've ever played this map, you know that there's a big ferry section here. You have to wait for the ferry, then you have to take the ferry across. It takes like 2 minutes. This is the biggest skip in the game in terms of time. So there's an invisible barrier over there, so he does have to start it, and then he starts to stumble, and by switching weapons rapidly, and then every time you switch weapons, it restarts the stumble animation. So you can just stumble across.
And that saves 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
I've not-
huge.
I mean, that's really, really cool. That's also a really interesting dance move. I just assume he just dances in the water, you know? You know, just
He's schmoovin'. It's his favorite
Yeah.
activity.
okay, yeah.
Nice adrenaline spawn there.
This level also makes Coach the objectively best choice remains because
Not true.
the stumble speed is based off of raw time anyway. Yeah, there's still spawns and stuff, but the stumble animation makes you save time over Nick by like 0.7, and then Nick over Rochelle and Ellis by
Like 2-3 seconds. Like,
Yeah,
Rochelle
like
and
a
Ellis
lot.
stumble really slowly. Nick stumbles a little bit slower than Coach. So, but Nick has better spawns, so you could argue Nick is the better character.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught me on that. It is not objective. That's just my opinion.
I will say it's most of the runners' opinions that Coach is better. but
Almost everyone runs
Yeah.
Coach. There's a couple. It's just me pretty much that runs Nick.
Like you and Loki and I think Vertran, maybe one other guy, Patrick.
I know Patrick plays Nick, yeah. So here I'm going to be looking for adrenaline. In these water campaigns, adrenaline is very important because a lot of this ground, in most of the campaign isn't flat, so trying to hit hops on ground that you can't see is, okay, that was an interesting hunter.
Oh,
Yeah, basically I'm going to need adrenaline to get through these water sections reliably.
Yeah, so this will be the first time Adrenaline RNG. You'll see it just come into play because there's another campaign where it will as well. The last campaign.
Yeah, fortunately this ground here at the start is completely flat, so hopping through it is easy, but I popped the adrenaline just to be safe, because if you get hit without adrenaline while you're in the water in this game, you get slowed down to, you literally cannot move
Yeah,
until the
it's-
common infected slowdown wears off, and that is really bad.
Yeah, so he actually, fun fact about that hanging guy there, like the parachute guy, if he's on the right, he'll guaranteed to have a pills. If he's on the left, he's guaranteed to have adrenaline. So acids that they're new to take his adrenaline early to get a new one. And this tank actually looks like it's going to kill him.
I got out, barely.
This looks
let's
scary.
go.
Yeah, sometimes the scariest thing with
And I got
tanks in
lucky.
particular is getting cornered like that. Oh, another adrenaline too. That's really lucky. So yeah, again, if you fall below 40 health, you just start moving slower. Unless you have adrenaline effects. So you never want to fall below 40 health. If you can avoid it. Then,
Oh my
You can
god, these
still-
hops.
yeah, this is pretty nice. Yeah, you have to remember, every single hop is tick perfect, so.
And those ones were uphill too. Well, some of them were anyway. Like, not easy.
Over here. Anyone out there?
Where you all at?
Yeah, that path I just took through that last water section there is pretty specific. That's like the way I went is pretty much like the only like or close to perfectly flat ground.
Yeah.
So that's why I was able to just hop through that.
Yeah, it's extra hard to b-hop on non-flat ground when you can't see the ground. So it's underwater, yeah.
That is a good point. It is hard to hop on the ground when you can't see ground.
Yeah.
Very.
It's already hard enough for me. Like, there's some places in the co-op run where you're out of bounds and you can't. There's no ground at all. You're just hopping on invisible stuff, and it's actually hard to hop on flat stuff when you can't see it. So when it's not flat, it's even worse.
At that point, it's pure intuition.
You better have hopped on it before. So yeah, this section he's going to skip at the start here. You're supposed to go like all the way around through a bunch of buildings, but you can just jump on this building from this barrel, which just lets you go all the way around that. So he skips that entire section. And over here, the normal pathing, you can just take an adrenaline and run through the water instead of going over like the routed pathing, which can get you to the event. You have to start sooner. And you have to start this event, even though it looks like he'll just skip it anyway. There's a big barrier, just a massive barrier there that you can't go past if you don't start the event. So to get over that rock, he wouldn't have been able to do that if he didn't start it.
I have absolutely no idea where that jockey was, but glad I didn't just die to it, because that would have been a little annoying, to say the least.
Yeah, that. Oh my god.
So I do have a quick question, because anytime I have a first-person shooter, and this is always for me, how hard is it to know exactly when to shoot so you can conserve as much ammo as possible, and that way you're just not constantly, shooting and shooting and shooting?
So in this game in particular, with how fast we're beating the levels and how little stuff we're killing compared to like a normal playthrough, we pretty much don't think about ammo, I'll be honest. Like it's just shoot everything when you need to. The thing is, every single safe room has more ammo in it, so you're always going to get restocked every single level. And it does become a problem on rare occasions, but it's very rare. So
Like maybe 1 in
Down the street.
50, 60 runs. Like it's really rare that you'll run out of ammo.
And is it just kind of like in the sense of where an enemy's going to be, so the accuracy of trying to hit them precisely is there?
yeah, I mean, this game has a lot of like spread in terms of like RNG with the gun. So we usually just take a shotgun because we're moving, and if you're moving, you cannot use a sniper rifle or AR in this game. Your bullets are just going to fly in random directions. So we may as well just grab a shotgun and just shoot everything while we're moving and kind of hope it hits, You saw earlier on Parrish when he shot that witch point blank straight at it and it didn't hit it, luckily. It's just luck. So here, actually, he's going to do... when the level started, I just want to catch up to where we're at. But when the level started, he intentionally didn't hurt Rochelle that much because this is the level he kept Rochelle for. There's a trick called a stuck warp. If you get stuck... Rochelle's not dead because he left her enough health to not bleed out. So if you get stuck, in 10 seconds... Because he's stuck under these stairs right now. Can't move at all if he tried. After 10 seconds, the game will warp you to the nearest player. And so he's back at the start. The finale has started, so now he's just waiting for it to end, and nothing can path to him. So this functions as one massive god spot. So now he just has to wait, like, I don't know how long the finale is, about 3 minutes?
Another 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, so just has to wait for that, and then the level ends. So yeah, that's like one of the only implementations of warping we have in solo.
It's insane in multiplayer though, and different kinds of warps too.
And you can't do it without the bot, obviously, because you'll have nothing to warp to. But if you have nothing to warp to, after 10 seconds, if you're stuck, the game just kills you. If it has nothing
you just die.
Warp you to, it just kills you. So
Shocking the first time around. You do the trick you see everyone else do. You have no bot alive, and then you just die.
So here he's actually trying to get the tank to... The tank has 2 death animations, the standing death animation and the running death animation. And if it's running when it dies, that just saves you 3 seconds. It's just 3 seconds faster of a death animation. So
When you get a running death, the tank body basically instantly turns into a ragdoll, whereas here it has that slow, drawn-out thing. So the tank is still considered like alive during that. So the that like phase of the finale isn't over until the tank is actually dead. So yeah.
Yeah. So. Is there anything I missed? I think I explained it.
I don't believe so. I know there's a bunch of commons that just spawn on the roof above me, but since there's no connections in the game's nav mesh from the roof down to here, they can't path to me. So
yeah, I was gonna explain one minor thing. Actually, depending on where you stand here, when the tank spawns, if it spawns on the roof, it can path to you. But because he's inside like this, it'll just path to above him, then die. Because the tank has like a weird pathing compared to commons, where the commons can't path to you, they just stand still and dance. If the tank, like, if it can path and nothing around it, it'll run to like towards you in a straight line towards you. But if it can't path to you, it'll run into the nearest wall and just get stuck on it. So tanks path differently from commons. So do SI. SI are very weird. I don't really understand how they path, but they seem to like keep moving in circles and stuff.
Additionally, that can actually... There's another god spot in this map right next to the stairs on some bushes. Yeah. And it's much, much less reliable, but because of the fact that there are running tank deaths, it actually does end up saving you time. Not worth doing in mains, it's why we keep the bot alive, but... And then IL, for example, can save you like... What, 5 to 7 seconds? If it's both tank deaths?
Oh,
depends, but even if you use that spot, getting a running tank death isn't guaranteed, but it's at least a more consistent way of trying to manipulate it.
Yeah.
So, on Hotel here, he will be doing first floor skip, and the way he's doing it is only available on older versions. But you can literally just drop off the window here and just strafe into the left, and yeah, you just skip the entire top floor. And when he gets in the elevator here, he'll be clipping into the door by just jumping into it and starting at the same time. And this lets him get on top of the elevator, which also lets him get off the elevator earlier.
And also skips triggering the whole panic event down here.
Yeah, there's a trigger halfway down the elevator that's like above the elevator he's on. So if he gets off it early enough, that fire will never spawn, and it just kind of breaks this next section of this level. So you can see there's normally a ton of fire in this room and fire in the next room, and it's just not there. So.
Still does damage, but it doesn't actually pop up at all.
That fire there still does damage, but there's fire he just went through that normally does a lot of damage that he doesn't take damage from. Because some of the fire doesn't exist at all. I don't really understand how their triggers work, but...
I'm just under the assumption that there was just a concert on the main floor of that hotel, and that the dry ice was just going in, seeping upward.
Yeah, something like that.
Let's go find that mall.
So this is one of the more dangerous levels. Also long.
It's like the longest non-finale level as well.
What do you say we pay?
Yeah, it and Cemetery are both really long. So this one has... Okay, this is actually like not a bad tank spawn, because you want to get it out of the way early.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Better there than later.
Yeah, so there's going to be an event later in this level called the gun store, and you do not want to have a tank while you're getting the cola, because there's like a section where you have to go into a store, grab some cola, bring it back, and when you're coming back, anything behind you will catch up to you, and you do not want a tank chasing you at that time. So the general idea, if the tank spawns this early, by the time you get there, because this level's so long, it'll be too far away. It'll probably, if you get too far ahead of a tank in this game, it kind of just dies.
Yeah, if it loses sight of you for over a minute, then it dies, basically.
Yeah, and he was looking for a molly there in particular. He's being extra safe about it. Because, like I said, when you have to come back out of that cola store, there's going to be a ton of stuff following you in, and the molly stops all of the commons from... Well, not all of them, but most of the commons from getting past. The zombies in the green CETA suits, like the biohazard suits, they're just immune to fire. I don't know why. You think it'd be warmer in there?
Oh my god.
That's very unlucky.
The bit dumb on my part.
I like how the zombies are just trying to like save you.
They're helpers.
Yes.
Let's go find that mall.
Those Sita zombies are also what we call uncommon infected. There hasn't really been a reason to mention the other ones yet because they were surprisingly not an issue, but on Dark Carnival, it's the clowns, and basically their nose makes a lot of noise and it makes zombies go to them. It can actually kill runs if you get really unlucky, but more often than not, I'd say it's more helpful. On Swamp Fever, there were Mudmen, and as Acids mentioned earlier, he's playing on low violence. So normally, when they hit you, a bunch of mud goes across your screen, but it just didn't matter, and here it's hazmats. So if you have a Molotov, they can annoy you here, but otherwise they're just very normal zombies.
There's also a funny bug with the release patch of the game here where witches can spawn with because a witch is basically just a glorified common infected. It's not actually like a special infected. So a witch can spawn in with uncommon infected attributes on the release patch. So you can get witches that are immune to fire or that behave like a riot cop, so you can't shoot them from the front. The only way to kill them is from the back. There's some pretty hilarious Twitch clips of that happening to runners.
And there's no visual cue to tell you in advance. Like you just go to shoot the witch
you shoot it and then sparks shoot out of her and you're like, oh.
and it just
almost always runs the end, or ends the run. It's terrible.
It runs the end.
It runs the end, I tell you.
Yeah. So this tank is not as nice as the other one because he'll have to probably kill this one.
Yeah, I'm going to kill this one.
Yeah.
But fortunately here the nav mesh is not very good, and so the tank will go around instead of trying to just climb over like he kind of did at the end there.
Yeah, so one advantage of being on easy instead of expert is tanks are like actually killable. Their health is over 3 times as much on expert.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, so they only have 3,000 health on easy, which is like 2 shotgun clips, so...
Yeah, it's about 17 shotgun shots. On an expert, they have 8,000 health. Which is a lot more than 17 shotgun shots.
Yeah, they're basically like... You just have to deal with them on expert, so... So here, he's just going to be doing another common jump. Hopefully.
Ooh, first try.
I
appreciate you attacking zombies with cola, though.
Yeah, this
Most
guy
OP gun in
won't...
the game, I swear.
He's got like a big bazooka or whatever. And he won't use it unless you get him some cola. So you can get past the truck, the barricade.
That's also strong cola glass, too.
Yeah.
You can just throw it anywhere you want.
That's how they made it
military grade.
back then. Yeah, so a fun fact about that explosion is on the newer versions of the game, they added more text options, and some of those text options are longer. So it might just RNG, depending on which one he chooses, take too long to explode that thing. So there's some clips of some runners getting too close to it and dying to the explosion. It's impossible in this version because the text is too fast. You cannot be that fast, but it's pretty
you always
funny.
get the same voice line in older versions of the game.
That also makes it one of the few ILs that can actually be, or I should say individual chapters, that can actually be faster on newest, because alternatively it can be a little bit shorter. So I don't know how much time it is, but it can hypothetically be a bit shorter than this old version.
You can even get faster dialogue, especially with the first door, because there's 2 door dependent. Well, there's another door dependent dialogue. We tried playing on different languages of the game, but that doesn't affect it, unfortunately. But on newer versions, the faster dialogue actually opens the door faster. So technically, Dead Center can be a couple seconds faster on newer versions than older versions, which is kind of cool.
Search these rooms. Might be something we can use.
So this level is pretty dangerous. Any level that you're in a lot of tight, closed corridor areas that just pumps tons of commons into the same area. So you have to deal with like a massive horde with SI at the same time, maybe a tank thrown in. It's always really scary. And this is exactly the type of level that can be the most painful. This one is especially painful on expert because smokers on easy, they wait 3 seconds to smoke. On expert, they just smoke instantly. They have no warning. So
yeah, you have to have insane reaction time if you actually want to just kill them.
Also, chargers in these hallways, very hard to dodge.
You can also get 2 of them. You can get 2 specials in that hallway, which is yet another benefit to playing on, or sorry, not benefit, actually con to playing on version 2000. One of the few ones. I think I'm not sure if it's the very next patch, but the next patches actually fix that.
Oh, he's going for the cool.
2008.
So the escalator
2008.
RNG there is actually RNG. It goes 50-50 either way, and if you get it that way, it's actually faster to do what Acids did, which was not go around, but to take that little ledge jump on the side, which is not as easy as it looks because there's an invisible barrier halfway, so he had to... Well, he just like hit some sick hops and flew past it, but
Those were
Normally-
stylish hops.
normally you have to jump on the ledge and then jump across and make sure you have enough speed, and it's not as easy as it looks. It's kind of dangerous, so it's pretty cool that he went for that.
Looks like we're gonna have to save ourselves.
So here's another epic RNG element of the run. So we actually got good RNG. So basically these gas cans have a bunch of different locations that they can spawn in. If you get 4 groups in this, like from here over to here, this half of the building on the 2nd floor, then that's considered good RNG. Otherwise, then you'd have to go up to the 3rd floor and grab other cans, and it just becomes a lot slower.
This is actually essentially best RNG.
Yeah.
Don't really get any.
Very
better than
lucky.
this, which is pretty rare. Like it's usually most runners are willing to are pretty happy with 3rd floor RNG. So this is really good RNG.
Also, just a warning, I'm going to be shaking my screen a lot soon as I juggle the gas cans, so if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, then yeah, just a heads up.
This is one of those things where in this game, the best way, when you have a ton of cans and you're juggling them and you have to keep throwing them ahead of you, it's going to pick them up, throw it, pick one another up, throw it, pick one up, throw it, and it's going to do it really fast. So, yeah. So what a scary thing there he was watching out for is a common issue with cans is that in particular, it can get caught in that like plant pot up there.
I got it.
So also, because of the bot, I think we forgot to mention,
Oh yeah,
this
we
finale...
we did completely forget to mention that.
This finale's just
yeah.
not started. That's why you're not seeing any comments or anything. So, because the finale's just not working, he has to hit this board, which starts the finale before you can fill it. And it takes about 5 seconds for the script to kick in, so he can't fill it for about 5 seconds. But as soon as he waited about 5 seconds there, took the adrenaline, and then started pouring. If he pours too early, it won't count those cans. So, also, if you're playing on single player, you only need 8 cans. If you're playing on, like, if you're playing
other type of
online or
server.
whatever, you need 13, all of the cans.
Yeah.
So because he's playing on single player, he only needed 8 cans, which is why there's RNG. Well, there's even RNG in 13, I guess, but
Matters a lot less in that case.
yeah. So that was the other reason he kept the bot, was for that finale, because just having a bot down in the safe room just breaks that finale on old versions. Not really sure why, but triggers, I guess.
Yeah, basically the game is expecting every survivor to be connected to a nav mesh that is considered in the finale area, and since there was a survivor that was not, connected to a finale nav mesh, the finale basically just fails to start.
Yeah, so this level is essentially just a lot of b-hopping on uneven ground, so it's really hard to b-hop, but you just want to get to the end as fast as possible. He also wants to keep track because this campaign is the same, like you go to one place and then the rest of the campaign is coming back from that place. So he'll come back through this level later. So whatever he saw in that ambulance right there will be there later. Which, I don't know if there was adrenaline, I wasn't even paying
There was
attention.
not. There was pills on a defib.
Yeah, so if there's adrenaline there, he leaves it there intentionally and keeps track of it. So the routing of this level on your way back is filled with water. So you want adrenaline, so it's more useful then.
I do
Seems
want to
like
say
I
real.
have- Sorry.
Oh no, finish what you're saying.
Yeah, I've gotten a bit unlucky here, and I have no adrenaline at all. So now we have to hope that I find some later in the campaign, and then I don't have to use it for any reason coming back.
Anyone out there?
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Grabbing a bottle jar.
I was just going to go off and say that if you like this content, do not forget that later on our show for She Is Speed, we're going to having Fatal Frame 2 and Phasmophobia. So if you like that kind of like action zombie kind of thing, there may be some stuff coming up later on throughout the night that may be up in your forte of interest.
That there sounds like a witch. No light.
Yeah, so this level, I arguably think is just as hard as Quarter, if not sometimes worse. This one can look really simple depending on
I
RNG,
just got jump scared.
Oh my
but
god.
but if you get like a bad tank, there's a section of this map you'll see coming up here. He needs to carry a propane tank for a trick later on. And if you're carrying a propane tank through an area with commons and there's like a tank spawn or something, it's very, very easy to die on this map or lose a lot of time dealing with it. So you got a propane tank here. So.
Not the worst tank, but pretty bad if he doesn't get another
Yeah,
propane.
Definitely
so-
better than having it
Knocks
spawn
him at
on the
least.
staircase up ahead here.
So having to
Yeah.
use what he's got in his hand, I don't even know what these are called.
Oxygen
tank.
tanks, I think.
Yeah, so
Okay,
oxygen
propane.
tanks. Okay, oxygen tanks suck. They're really hard to do the trick with, but they do work.
Yeah, oxygen tanks, when you shoot them, have a chance. If you don't like damage them enough, basically, they will have like a detonation timer, and if that happens, then you're kind of just screwed.
Yeah. So here
But
he'll
here I
be.
basically just canceled all my falling velocity by stumbling myself midair, which gets canceled instantly because I'm midair, and that allows me to just skip that entire elevator event.
Which is quite a bit of a time save.
There
think
are
over a
some
minute.
alternatives. They're much slower though. Like for example, he could have used his boomer bile on the roof to the shack right below him, and then jumped on, or rather walked on zombies. Like if he didn't have any oxygen or propane tank, which would be terrible, and some other things too.
Yeah, there's a lot of backups to it and a lot of different methods, but the fastest way and the simplest way is just use a propane tank. Break your fall. Very easy to do, actually. The way he did it takes some practice, but if you want to just do it, like, I mean, it doesn't work on newer versions of the game. To point that out, they added in the Last Stand update in particular, they added a big trigger halfway down that just hits you for 150 damage. So
Yeah, to prevent people from griefing in online games.
yeah.
You can do a bit of a more complicated setup by just falling onto the shack and then getting a bot to warp, but it looks a lot different on newest.
Yeah. You still skip it on newest. You always still skip it in Valve, but it's just always a little bit slower and a little bit more annoying.
Hey, anyone out there? Oh, shit. Bang!
So you can see he's generally going to be avoiding the water for most of this level. You know, it just slows you down a lot. So, I mean, in theory, you can hit perfect hops through it. There's lines for that, but it doesn't save enough to usually be worth it.
Some very pretentious hops. Oh my god.
And so a lot of this is just precise pathing on.
And
Just,
while I have sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, I was just going to remind everyone that Unapologetically Black and Fast is coming up on February 11th to 12th. Celebrate Black Experience and speedrunning coming up next month. Use !UBAF in Twitch chat for more information.
Sounds awesome.
Touchdown!
Okay, so now we're coming up to what is probably one of the, in theory, easiest levels to execute in the run, but also a level that can become very annoying if you don't have good adrenaline RNG, which I got, enough to get by here. So it should be fine. Normally, if you had one adrenaline here to use at the start and then one in the ambulance, you pop one immediately here. And you'll see I'm going to go up onto on a fence to skip having to wade through the water. And then you just pop the second adrenaline at the ambulance. But since I only have one, I didn't use my adrenaline immediately, and I'm just going to save it for the ambulance area.
Yeah, the pathing of this level changes depending on if you have adrenaline or not in the ambulance.
Sounds like there's a tank? Yeah, there is. I should have maybe waited. Okay, tank is AFK.
What?
I don't know how I didn't hit you.
This man! Helper tank. What a nice guy.
So this is the last campaign, right? We did all 5?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is.
it
We're actually rapidly approaching the end of the run here. All we have left
Yeah.
is the finale of this campaign.
Yeah, so the finale will be hopefully pretty boring.
Hopefully.
It's
Yeah.
actually better if it's boring because otherwise there's going to be stuff making things bad, to put it simply.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, here I didn't get an adrenaline, so I'm going to have to try to just hit obstinous water while also
Yeah.
dealing with commons. But since I threw a bile, commons aren't really an issue.
So he hurt the bot a specific amount there because this game is annoying and respawns your bots to help you with the finale when you start one. And we do not want to do that. So what he did was he hurt it enough that it wouldn't die by the time he started it, but it'll die a little bit after, so it won't respawn the bot. And then he'll be using a god spot, of course. And so stuff can path to this god spot, and he can die in here. It is possible. But it's rare, and hopefully he doesn't. So,
Why is there some... I guess I was a
but
bit slow
essentially,
at this spot.
this finale is a little bit weird with the fact that I think it's only one horde call and then a tank.
Yeah,
So-
I believe the common land, or maybe the horde size is like lowered, but it basically it's like faster than a normal finale would be in that regard.
Yeah, and hopefully nothing crazy is going to happen and you won't have to shoot stuff because, as you brought up earlier, ammo is coming into play here. He's down to 17 shots.
Yeah, I didn't bother
Yeah.
refilling ammo, which would have been a smart thing to do. Usually it just isn't an issue here.
Shouldn't be.
It's one of the few spots where you usually do grab a gun other than a shotgun. Like in an ideal world, you grab a sniper rifle just in case a smoker tries to smoke you or you have to kill commons, but it almost never matters.
Holla back at me, folks.
Yeah. So when the tank, I don't know if the tank spawned yet, did it?
Yeah, the first tank already spawned.
Yeah. Okay. So when the
Second
tank
will be spawning
spawns,
very shortly.
it can spawn
now.
very close to him, and if it does, it might path to him, and sometimes it just falls in the water and dies, which is actually
There's a-
faster if that
It's
happens.
a pretty infamous clip of a tank spawning right behind this tree, pathing over the runner's head, and then falling in the water and dying. And that actually, that specific finale instance is the fastest completion of this finale.
Because the tank
because of
died
that.
faster, yeah.
Yeah. And now, since the second tank died, the escape vehicle is now approaching. I'm going to get squished while I'm sitting in this spot.
Which will push him out.
Where you all at?
At which point this particular spot will stop functioning as a god spot. And then, yeah, I'll get pushed up.
And we'll have time coming up here. I have a delay, so you can count down, I guess.
In 3, 2, 1. Now. It's time.
Nice.
GG.
GG.
What was the final time?
Probably about a 54-45. I'll confirm here in just a second. In the meantime, if anyone was watching this, going off and saying 54-48, my apologies.
Not bad.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. If anyone was watching this and they wanted to know more about the run, or maybe they were interested in running the run themselves, where would they go to get more information about it?
Head to speedrun.com/Alfred2, or you can go to Left 4 Dead 1's page. It's the same Discord and same community, the same runners across both games. And you can join the Discord there, and we have plenty of people who are willing to help and answer any questions.
Yeah. Also, I would take a look at, like, if you're actually interested in running this game. It's a big commitment because it takes a long time to get good at b-hopping.
It's
So I
a
would take a
very
look.
hard learning curve.
So when you're learning, don't just try to copy the world record, but you have to kind of like work your way up to it. So it's a very, very long learning curve. Yeah,
Very
that's
different at the
my
bottom
only-
than the top.
Yeah, my only warning: don't feel bad if you come in and you're not able to like b-hop. I started this game without knowing how to b-hop, and it took me a long time to even like be even like comparable to anyone else. So if you if you come in from source games and know how to b-hop, you might have a little bit of an advantage there, but you can make it work either way. So
And if anyone was interested in following any one of y'all, where would they go?
You can find me at twitch.tv/ximacids. Yeah. I stream this game near every day. Not so much lately, but I usually do. And yeah, this is the main thing that I put my time into when it comes to speedrunning.
I usually stream on twitch.tv/rskiller, just rskiller, all one word. I don't stream very often, but when I do, that's where it is.
I usually stream on twitch.tv/uncultivated_ because someone took the normal one several years ago. I usually upload my runs to YouTube, and I definitely don't stream very often, simply because quite loud, stuff like that. But I also play the funny game.
Yeah, when I do stream, I'm usually streaming co-op. Co-op is also an interesting one, and you should check it out.
Yeah, it's a very different run from the solo run.
Yeah, a lot more tricks and a lot more cool stuff.
Really cool to watch.
I'll have to bring that onto my show then. Any other final shout outs? Anything else you'd like to go off and say?
I don't think so. Just thanks
Shout out to
everyone in the
Mike.
community. Thank you for inviting me onto the show. It was a fun experience, and I'm glad I got to show off the game to everyone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for showcasing Left 4 Dead 2. Do not forget that coming up here in just a little bit is going to be Shadow of the Colossus. So we'll have that in a moment, but also real quick, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick with Awesome Games Done Quick 2023 costs, including hotel cancellation costs. Please consider subscribing to help support Games Done Quick. And while we get everything set for Shadow of the Colossus, this is a great time to get up, stretch, use the restroom, grab a snack, hydrate. Hydrate is incredibly important, and we'll be right back with Shadow of the Colossus. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Bargain Bin Show about speedrunning games on all under $20. I promise I can talk. I'm Midnight Vesper, and do not forget, before we get to the Shadow of the Colossus run, that Frost Fatale's 2023 prize submissions are open until February 20th. Head on over to GamesDoneQuick.com for more information, or use !prizes in Twitch chat to submit your prizes. And don't forget, also coming up next after the Bargain Bin is She Is Speed, where we have some amazing runs coming up, including Fatal Frame 2 and Phasmophobia. I had to check my script to make sure all that information is correct. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, hello YouTube, how are you? Be sure to press the like button to this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, head on or go to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. And now I will go ahead and send it on over to Jade with Shadow of the Colossus. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Hello, I'm Jade, or Sunbird Jade on Twitch, and I'm going to be showcasing Shadow of the Colossus any % normal. With my lovely commentators, you can introduce yourselves.
Hey, I am Soulmass. I am also a runner of Shadow of the Colossus.
We did Brawn Before Beauty. Okay, I'm a Sancho Panda, and I've run this game a couple times.
Just a few times. Okay. Well, with that, I'll go ahead and just get started right away. And time will be as soon as I click normal here. So in 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo!
Okay, so Shadow of the Colossus any % normal is pretty much just defeating all of the Colossus with
What?
Oh.
Yeah, what is it that makes normal different from easy or hard?
Oh, sorry. Normal is just the only difference between easy, normal, and hard is between easy and normal, the Colossus have less health, so it takes less damage for stab or for the sigils. Hard actually will add sigils and health, and each Colossus does more damage.
So you die faster and they die slower?
Correct.
And you have to stab them in more places? I'm glad we're not doing that.
Okay, so there's a specific way to go up this cliff, which is a very slippery pedestal right here to avoid all the climbing. And I made it up.
Yay, good job.
And we don't like to climb around this pillar because it's slow. Therefore, we have handy rock friend.
Nice job. I don't think I've ever gotten that.
And we'll go to the first Colossus Valus. Solmass, if you want to go ahead and explain what I'm doing here.
Well, we're rolling over to Valus's leg, and what we're going to do is do a quick jump slash and then jump over to the side and magnet hands onto the leg to a weak spot. During this cutscene, we are actually able to move, and Jade is going to be running over to the face and jumping and grabbing on near the face so we can get right up onto the head sigil very quickly. This skips the intended method of climbing up the back.
Good job.
And this is beautiful.
Oh,
And a nice... almost got the jump stab.
sometimes that happens. Reason why I would be jump stabbing instead of just doing a regular stab is because this game is timed in game time, and the slow, when you finish off a Colossus, if you've ever played this game before, it has a slow motion kind of push in with the sword. The jump stab completely cuts that and goes straight to the death animation. So it cuts those few seconds. So it does save time.
I did see in chat we had a question about magnet hands. Magnet hands is a mechanic that we use in the game that where there's certain surfaces that Wander, the character, is able to grab onto. And whenever you're within a certain distance from that object, the game is a little bit lenient about being able to grab onto it. So as long as you're within that distance and you hit the grab button, you will sort of zip over and grab onto it. And that's why we call it magnet hands. And it looks kind of hilarious in some places where we use it because it'll look like you're nowhere near the object. And when we hit grab, Wander will just warp across the screen and grab onto the thing. And it's humorous.
We just got to charge those magnet hands. Thankfully, that's not gonna come into play until a little bit later.
You gotta charge them, or like Mr. Miyagi, like you slap your hands together and rub them.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's
everybody clear.
I mean, just creating all the static electricity on the way between each of the Colossus. Takes time.
Mm-hmm.
We are coming up on another strat here before this Colossus. It's going to be another movement during cutscene. After this first cutscene, there's going to be another one that we trigger. And what we'll do is we're going to be jumping off of this little ramp that goes down to the bridge, the beach. And during the cutscene that triggers, when we jump off of the top of this ramp, we are going to exit out of the cutscene, and Wander is going to appear in midair above the Colossus. And if it works correctly, we'll be jumping straight onto the Colossus's head. So let's see what Jade does with this.
Yay!
There we go.
That was brilliant. Gosh,
nice.
That was good. And that saves, if you know the normal route, you go all the way down the ramp, you use an arrow to hit him in one of his hoofs, and he stumbles, and then you climb on top. And that's like an extra 2 minutes at least, right?
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, it takes quite a while. Another thing to point out is Jade got a plant there on that sigil. What a plant is some of the sigils on the Colossus, if you grab in a very specific position, you're actually able to keep on stabbing the Colossus sigil while they're shaking. And we call that a plant. It's very nice to get because obviously that saves a lot of time because we don't have to wait for them to shake in between each stab. And then back here, we're going to be doing something called cycle stabs. Since Jade is on a diagonal surface with this sigil, you can actually let go and hold forward on grab and then grab again and quickly charge another stab. So you can quickly stab multiple times in succession.
Down goes the ox. All the dust.
All of the dust. So much sand.
That's the way my brain works. I see that. I just have an urge to cough.
I am glad we did not have a beach party, Jade. Great job.
See, so you think Wander you think Wander is getting weaker and weaker from the soul of Dorman being absorbed, but it's actually just all the dust inhaled in the lungs from all these colossi.
See, I'm glad we're playing I'm playing the remaster instead of, or the remake instead of the PS2 version, where there's a lot more particles. Phalanx, you can barely see. There's so much sand.
It's true. They did a good job toning down the sand a little bit.
So we do have a little bit of a ride here before we get to the next Colossus. If anybody's really questioning what's going on in this game, it's really a simple story, something you've probably heard a million times before. Boy meets girl, girl dies a tragic death. Boy steals magical sword and goes to a forbidden land and makes a pact with an eldritch god.
As you do.
As you do, to revive his dead girlfriend. And shenanigans ensue.
I never realized how much of that is based off of you could almost argue that as a story of Orpheus.
You're very true. That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ueda really loves when he comes up with his own backstory for these sort of things. He really does love incorporating ethnic myths and stuff. Maybe at some other really, really long shot we can get into what might be an actual leaked direct from Ueda, what the backstory of this game is. But again, it's not sure. We're not sure if it's the real one or not. So you can still have your own theories. But I really like it.
So coming from someone who's actually not played this game before, when you're moving around in the world map, are you able to control the camera, or is it the game controlling the camera for you?
Oh, I can control the camera.
Great job with the cinematography.
Yeah.
There's a lot of points in the game where Agro kind of pilots herself, and it is actually faster that she pilots herself, like through that canyon over here to Gaius' arena. If you move it, she's more likely to bonk on rocks and whatever else and slow down. So I just kind of, gave like a little tour of everything surrounding us, because the world is incredibly large and we don't get to see very much of it.
Yeah, this is definitely a game where if you just like going around and exploring, you can do that with this one. It's just gorgeous to visit all the different sites, and there's some really cool architecture and geography.
All right, coming up on one of the biggest tricks in the run.
Got it.
That was a cool little jump there.
There's going to be some serious time for Jade here. They tried to nail one of the biggest tricks here called Space Jam. They're going to shoot the belly here a few times just to get a little bit of damage on that belly sigil while Gaius is walking near. And then once the sword comes down, what we're going to do is use the physics from the sword when the sword pulls out of the ground to do some very specific jumps and use the momentum to fly through the air and land on Gaius' head. So let's see what happens.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen on that try. You going to reset for it, Jade?
It's okay. We'll go for it again.
Yeah, it's easy to set back up.
Oh, I love that step where just a blast of dust, like a blaster ring came out. That was really cool. And they did such a good job with this remake.
Yeah, the remake is beautiful.
Chat saying,
Hey, that looks pretty good.
All right, there we go.
Good job.
That's Space Jam.
So if you saw, I changed the graphics mode to cinematic. So there's actually two ways to play this game: in 30 FPS, which is PS4, and cinematic mode on PS5. I didn't get a plant. Crap. That's okay. That's gonna be a little rough.
Yeah, it's fine.
But
you got Space Jam.
So I'm actually originally a PS4 player who has recently switched to PS5 and 60 FPS. Gaius' sword is a lot shakier on 60, and I have not quite adjusted to it. So that's why I swapped to cinematic mode.
And then we're on
Finish
the
off the belly.
And this is why Jade did those arrow shots, so that we would have to stab the belly less and save some time here.
Gaius gets so shaky. His hips do not lie.
His hips do not lie.
I think, Jada, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the middle takes the 3.5 stabs, but because he shot those arrows, it was only 3 stabs.
Correct. Yeah, we eliminate an entire fourth stab with shooting the arrow, waiting for Gaius to get into position.
I noticed some people in chat who've come in late don't know how to recognize each of our voices. Maybe we could do a quick second introduction.
Oh, hi, I'm Jade.
I am Soulmass.
And I'm Sancho Panda, aka Slide Whistle. I really just did that so I could take credit for the slide whistle.
Yes, you have to take credit for your beautiful slide whistle playing.
All right, 3 down. This is going so fast.
It's
doing a great job.
I feel like every speedrun should have a slide whistle now.
I agree.
Hey, I'll be your Huckleberry. Just you let me know anytime.
Well, coming up, we are going to be on the 4th Colossus, which is called Phaedra. And these names that we're using for the Colossi are actually names that were created by the fan community for the game. The actual names that were in the game's coding and during production are kind of bland and not really interesting. For the first Colossus, it's like Minotaur A. For some others, it's like Bird, Snake, that kind of stuff. So the community came up with some better names early on, and we just stuck with them over the years.
Yeah, I'm amazed at how it stuck like throughout the different communities too, like that everyone uses it that way. I'm sorry, Jade, what were you gonna say?
No, you're fine. And then each runner, well, most of the runners have their own special name for each of them.
Yes.
What do you call this one, Jade?
I don't have specific names for for them. I know well, Ruby Heart does.
I know chat's going to want to try and guess what this one is anyway. So chat, when you see this Colossus, type in chat, what kind of animal do you think this Colossus is?
I think this is one of the most debated ones in terms of the type of animal, like llama, giraffe. What have we got going here? I'd go with giraffe, and so I call this one Toys R Us.
I personally call this one deer horse. All right, Jade's gonna jump on the back of the leg here and then use the specific animation to.
So close! Oh, I didn't know you were doing that strat. I didn't have my slide whistle ready.
Yeah, there's a specific animation there where pulling the leg up will cause you to launch if you do a side jump.
Yeah.
And Jade just missed grabbing onto the hip there. So we're gonna go for a backup now.
I love that you went for it. Like some of the strats Jade is going for aren't the safest ones. Like if you're doing it any percent, but you're just
that is a strat that you normally only see a strat from like a world record attempt run doing that kind of thing. So it's cool that Jade tried to show it off for us.
Yeah, or in the IL runs. Come on.
So, her legs are very slippery.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to recover from this is very rough.
She knows.
Yeah, it's hard to really time the jumps off the horse, but Jade's very good at it, as you can see.
Did we just accidentally throw another song reference in there?
That's what you get with me. Sorry.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of songs and singing from Sancho, so get ready.
I was going to say accidental. It's never an accident with Sancho.
No. I may not realize I'm doing it, but that doesn't mean it's not.
Jade's finally up on the back.
Hey, good job. I mean, that's still faster than trying to the original way, which is over there, those hobbit holes. You kind of have to get it to stoop down and look into one of them, and then you climb up the back or the front afterwards.
Yeah, so even with this, the intended way probably would have been 3 or 4 minutes.
Head down, dear.
Even where we're at now. So
yeah,
this is still a large time save.
For the record, I've been seeing in chat, a lot of people were saying a horse. I saw giraffe. I saw alpaca.
Ooh, yeah.
All
Someone
good
said a
choices.
crab.
That's
Someone said a crab.
That's an interesting one. I've also heard spider.
Someone said because of the slippery legs, it could be a seahorse.
Ooh,
Ooh,
a
that is something.
seahorse
That's a new
that's been
one.
forced onto land
That's a new
by
one.
bionic legs.
I like it.
I saw
I
someone,
like that.
Yeah, I saw someone said that it was an at that walker that's been left in the snow for a bit too long, and then I thought it was an airboat. So I mean,
This part in particular looks like an at walker.
Oh, that's great.
All right, Jade's going to run toward this death spaghetti here just a little bit, just to speed things up. And just like that, we are already going on to the fifth one.
Mm-hmm. Going back through what do you? I don't even know what this is exactly. It's some sort of teleportation thing. I'm amazed that Aggro's always back in time after this.
I think I made the joke at some point that Agro just like takes a hold of our pant leg and just drags us back. And just gets upset every single time. We're just like, oh, we're going out again? Really?
I like the idea that Aggro is actually crazy fast and can easily make it back, but goes slow just to spite us.
See, when she throws a tantrum every time she sees a leaf, a tree or a rock, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see more of that soon. But first we have the bird Colossus. This one is called Avion.
Yes.
Now the trick that we're going to be looking for on Avion is after we grab on, there's one of two things that can happen, and it's based on RNG. So it's pretty much a 50-50 coin flip. Either we're going to get the wings to go up or down, and what we really want to see is wing up, and I'm assuming that's the strategy that Jade is most comfortable with. If you get a wing up, it's a little bit easier to do the trick on here, which is stabbing the sigil on the wing, dropping from the first wing down to the second wing, and then getting directly onto that second sigil without having to worry about climbing around on the Colossus while it's flying.
Let's hope for, you hope for, moist bird when you're, eating chicken. I'm hoping for a dry one. Where I don't land
yes,
in the
we
water.
always want to see dry Avion is the best Avion. To be clear, Jade can also do wing down strategy. I've seen it, so either way, we might see a nice wing drop here.
Let's get some wing up energy.
How much
yes,
faster
wing
are
up
these?
energy in chat, please.
Yeah, how much faster are those somersaults than just running regular?
I'm not sure how much time it saves. I'm sure PDO could probably answer that, which is he is an incredible runner of this game.
And in chat.
Hi, PDO.
Yeah, PDO. Shout outs to PDO, one of our friends and one of the best runners in the game.
Yep. Actually,
PDO is a font of knowledge about this game, so I'm sure PDO can definitely tell us how much faster.
Did you say fount or font?
A font of knowledge.
One of my favorite fonts is the PDO font.
Yes.
PDO actually taught me most of the game. Combination of Ruby Heart and PDO. Wing up, here we go.
Nice swing up.
Good job.
Hold your breath.
We want to try and let go as soon as we see the wing tip go like that.
Oh,
that's
well
a good
done.
grab.
Wow.
Nice wing drop.
Gosh, that's so cool.
Here on the second sigil, you want to make sure you don't get a plant, because if you do on this roll, you will fall
Magnet
off.
hands. Saving my butt.
Magnet hands are nice. Very nice.
Yeah, you'd rather have jazz hands than magnet hands for that part.
Another note here on this tail sigil, it actually extends out much farther than what you can see. So even further back than where Jade is, you can stab and you will still do damage.
Yay, dry bird.
Dry bird.
Dry bird. That was a beautiful Avion. Great
Dry
job,
bird
Jade.
is the word. Yeah.
Thank you for the energy.
We're all delighted. We're all delighted that you killed another innocent creature.
Absolutely.
Yay!
Yeah.
As an RPG speedrunner and fan, I'm always fine to seeing birds go down. As the owner of a pet bird, I'm not, but as a gamer, I am.
Ooh, what type of bird do you have?
Umbrella cockatoo.
That's amazing. Where can we follow you to see? Does it have its own Instagram?
Unfortunately, she lives with my parents because I live in apartment complexes, and umbrella cockatoos are very loud.
Also, your neighbors would not be pleased.
The entire complex would probably not be pleased.
All right, where to next?
Next, we're heading up to Barba. And as we know, Barba means beard, and you're going to see that this Colossus has a mighty fine beard.
I actually call this Colossus Foxy's beard. Foxyzilla is one of our oldest and best speedrunners. Been around for a long time, and usually has a nice full beard that I'm not at all envious of. I don't know why you'd even think that.
I see. I couldn't tell that you were jealous. He does have a nice beard.
This is one of our longer journeys, right?
No. This is pretty medium.
Mid-range?
Mid-range?
Yeah, mid-range.
I think Zenobia has the longest
maybe
travel time.
Yeah. I think people casually would get really frustrated with this forest. You want to tell them how you're able to do this so easily?
Oh, yes. So this forest, the thing where we said Agro is scared of grass and trees and rocks. So Blue Point, when they did the remake, in the original version, this is all barren. And
yeah, it's very sparse.
Yeah, there's basically no trees. It's very dark. So Blue Point added, this very lovely forest, and has like a specific path. But as you see with me kicking Agro and she just doing a lovely trot, the only way to get through that quickly is to quick start her and force her to run. But it's very easy to bonk on the trees, or if you step on the rocks, or step in the grass, all she'll do is a very slow walk.
But when you're
see a question in chat. This is the PS4 remake of the game, but Jade is actually playing the updated version of it on the PS5, so it's at 60 frames per second, and there's some different tricks that you're able to do on this version, which you can't do on the PS4 as easily.
Yeah, the disc I play on is just the PS4 disc in the PS5.
I really love that they made all of that stuff backwards compatible.
Oh, me too. Whee!
There are
so as we enter the arena here, definitely want to explain a trick that's about to come up that is a little bit weird. I'm not sure exactly how it works, so PDO in chat might need to explain it if he will do so. But what we're going to do is during a specific part of this introduction cutscene that's coming up, if you actually pause and exit out on a specific set of frames, you'll spawn wander in midair right in front of Barba instead of on the ground. So we can just grab right onto Barba's face. So Jade's going to watch this door very carefully for a specific set of frames and then exit out, and we'll see exactly how that goes down.
We need complete silence from chat.
I think I might have gotten it. Nope, just a little bit too late.
So close. Chat was not quiet enough. I blame chat.
So I'm gonna go ahead and stand in front of his foot, and hopefully he'll just do a stomp, which he did not, but I'm going to reset it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can reset it. Jade, you're gonna do the backup with the hand? Or are you gonna go for
I'm gonna go for cutscene and skip again.
All right.
Get me.
It turns out he's only mostly dead. I love that you're trying this again. I believe.
It's
Let's go.
it's a fun trick. I think that's good. Nope.
That looks good
yep,
to
there
me.
we go.
Oh,
just got it.
barely. Foxy, thank you so much.
Whew.
Wow.
Chat was quiet enough for that one.
How are you able to like just wiggle on up?
So if there's a you kind of slide your way across, so you have like a direct line. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. He's gonna.
Oh yeah,
shake.
you need to. I'm asking you like while you're doing the more difficult part.
Yeah, if you hold in a direction while you're quickly letting go and re-grabbing over and over and over, you can kind of grab walk up the Colossus.
So,
Come on,
and
Barbara.
for a fun fact, the grab is R1, right?
It depends on
R2.
It depends on
Oh,
your
R2?
controls.
Okay, so the classic controls, it was R1.
Yes.
And as an
Yes.
eco runner, I always liked that because R1 was how you held Yorda's hand. So
I personally play on modern remapped, so because to me a triangle button is not a jump button, and that's the kind of a joke in the community between the classic controller runners and the modern remapped or modern.
I could see us like, if we all had time to hang out and make silly videos, one of them would be an intervention where you're just trying to get someone to accept the truth that triangle is not jump. No! Look how you're hurting your family. You have to trust us.
No, triangle button isn't jump.
So you're probably noticing every time we down one of these colossi and warp back, there's more of these shadow figures standing around Wander. And we're skipping these cutscenes, but Sancho, do you want to kind of explain what's going on here as the game progresses?
Yeah, so we've made a pact with the doorman, who's agreed to bring back our girl, who might be a friend or might be our girlfriend. It actually isn't clear, but as each colossi dies, a new shadow shows up, and of course they're the same color as the death noodles that are absorbed into Wander's body each time he fells one of these beautiful behemoths. And so you can sort of start putting two and two together and saying, okay, so maybe this is either like the witnesses of their souls, or it's showing the power of Dorman growing as they show up, or are they just his servants? It's, you can think of it in different ways, but it definitely adds intrigue and mystery to it.
Yeah, and the Ueda definitely likes to have a lot of elements that you can sort of can be very much left to interpretation and kind of just make your own explanation for things, which is very fun and interesting.
Yeah.
That's part of why this game and Eco were a big influence on Hidetaka Miyazaki when he was coming up with ideas for Demon Souls and Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I saw a question in chat where they were asking if it's just a string of boss fights. So yes and no. There's actually other things that you can do. There's shrines to pray at, to have different points. I'm actually gonna pray at one because this Colossus up here is kind of mean. And I could be stuck in a little bit of a loop. So in case I need a reset, I'm going to go ahead and do a safety save. But there's also lizards that you can kill to get more stamina, fruit to shoot out of the trees to get more health.
And avoid scurvy. And avoid scurvy?
Yes, and avoid scurvy, yes. Ooh.
It was funny in my head. I'm sorry. I apologize. Chat, I'm sorry.
Never need to apologize for your jokes, Sasha. Woo! Hogro is gonna.
Oh, okay. We're gonna pray to a shrine.
Yep, I'm just gonna.
There's usually a lizard around each shrine too.
There is.
Yeah.
They're very tricky to shoot. There's actually one inside the temple right above you. Every time you spawn in, there's a little lizard friend.
Hey, if anybody wants to speedrun this game and be on our extended categories leaderboard, there is a category for just starting the game and eating that lizard's tail as fast as possible, and then the run is over. It takes under a minute. You too can be a speedrunner of Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, we have a bunch of fun category extensions. I'm going to go ahead and be quiet because this one's really difficult.
Yeah, we're going to do a trick here. That's a head turn skip, which normally with this Colossus, what we want to do is bait it to come up to the surface, and then as it's bringing itself up, we grab onto the tail, and then slowly, as it's swimming along the surface, walk from the tail up to the head. As a speedrunner, obviously, we don't want to waste all that time. So Jade's going to go for a specific setup with the swims here to bait the Colossus into a position where it's going to come up directly underneath, and with some specific movements as far as jumping and stabbing when the Colossus is directly underneath, will cause the Colossus to turn its head to the side, and this will allow us to get directly onto the head. And if it's done right, we can do a jump stab and get
Shake your head.
to the sigil.
Oh, yes.
Yay! Good job. Good start.
A little bit of a meme there. Didn't quite get to the sigil, but Jade's just going to stab the sigil a couple more times, and this Colossus is done.
Oh, that was so good.
GG.
Oh, wow.
Yay!
So that's another fun one that's a little different on the setup is a lot different. Well, I say a lot. It's a little different on 60 FPS between that and 30. So that's why I swapped to 30 FPS really quick. But and once you kill that first horn, the distance you have to jump forward to get to that sigil to do a jump stab gets larger, because if you walk up to it too close, Hydrus will just bob her head as a defense mechanism. So it makes it a little bit more difficult.
This is a good time here after this Colossus to take a short break if you're running the game, because it takes a long time for that death spaghetti to come up from the bottom of the lake and get to wander. So you have a little moment to take a breath and go grab something if you need to, and jump back into the game when you finally get hit by that spaghetti.
Now I want spaghetti.
Oh, now I want a mod where it looks like pool noodles.
Amazing.
Fun confetti, pool noodles, everybody.
Hey, you could stab the Colossus and confetti shoots everywhere.
Now, we do have someone on our community, JK, who does a lot of like looking at the code of the old versions, which you can hack into and like remod. And he does have like Woody and Bullseye mod for Shadow of the Colossus, and it's amazing.
Oh, that's right. Yep, I remember seeing that. JK is also an amazing runner of the game.
And of course, there was some nice little cross references that showed up afterward. Like, there's a Hydrus in my boot. Mine was somebody poisoned the Dorman soul. So yeah, we're a very chill Discord. We are a lot of fun.
I don't particularly like this ride over to Kuramori because there's some really difficult sections to ride through on the horse, and Agro doesn't want to really steer in the directions we want to go. You're going to see Jade set up a couple different movements here so that try and go a little bit faster, because everything on this ramp and coming up to the water tries to slow you down in the game. But if you kickstart in certain areas, you can ride through all of those points where the horse is going to slow down.
And if you're familiar with seeing this game run at GDQ before, or on GDQ before, Ruby Heart, I'm actually going to be doing the Ruby route.
Ruby route.
So you can thank them.
This is the Ruby route, right?
Not this. Not hitting the rock. That's not part of it.
No, that's important for the RNG manipulation of those butterflies.
But this kick right here is the Ruby route through the water.
Achoo. So cool.
We just got to give Agro a bath. She's worked hard. It's been a long day.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much everyone uses, who's trying to get PBs at higher levels using that route now, right? As far as I know.
As far as I'm aware, yes.
It's become the optimal.
So if you're kind of wondering why I'm doing, jumping and calling for aggro, jumping and doing an animation cancel, where if you see me jump, I bend at the half. Doing the whistle or a weapon swap actually cancels that animation, so.
Here with Kuramori, what we're going to do is do one whistle at the start to get Kuramori's attention, then run down here and get into position to shoot the legs as soon as Kuramori is climbing up the wall. So you'll see Jade aim for a specific spot to immediately shoot the legs.
Oh, good job.
And then jump down here so it can get on the Kuramori's belly immediately.
For some good scratches.
And we'll do some cycle stabs here. Get on the diagonal and stab very quickly.
That's a type of belly rub, I guess. Belly scratch,
Yeah, it's acupuncture.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
And we all know that that's one of the most comfortable places to have acupuncture on your body is right in the stomach.
Yeah.
And that was a Colossi.
Woohoo!
If you blinked, you might have missed it.
Yep.
Pretty much.
What's funny is that Kuro, for the people who run easy and normal, it's kind of like a gimme Colossus. It's incredibly easy to learn. But on hard, it can be the most terrifying fight. Because where you shoot Kuro on the wall determines how much time he's stunned. So that's why we, in normal, can shoot him from half like that, but on hard we need more time because there's more stabs that you have to get through before he turns over.
Yeah, so you want him to fall from higher up?
You have to make him fall from the top.
And even then, you still have barely enough time to get all your stabs.
Correct.
In.
You have to at least get most of the cycle stabs, if not all.
Otherwise, Kuramori rolls back over and starts shooting poisonous electric breath at you, and you die instantly.
Yeah, that breath is brutal.
We should really give him a mint.
That's what I was thinking. Lay off the garlic cheddar rolls from.
Oh, that
Red
sounds
Lobster.
Good, Sancho. You're making me hungry.
Sorry.
So
we have
writing
referenced
out
food several times. Go ahead, Solmax.
There was that. There was spaghetti earlier.
We are riding now over to now we're past the halfway point. We're on to the 9th Colossus. This is Bossaron. He's like a giant turtle. And normally what you would do with this Colossus is you would bait him out, and there's a bunch of geysers in this big field, and you try and get him on top of one of the geysers so that when the geyser shoots up, it puts Bossaron off of balance. And there's little points on the bottom of its feet that will be exposed, and you shoot him with an arrow, and Bossaron falls over, and then you can climb onto the back.
Takes forever.
Jade obviously doesn't want to do any of that because that takes a lot of time. What we can do in the speed run is we're going to set it up so that Bossaron goes into a certain animation when we're riding up and can jump directly onto the front leg while the leg is rising up in the air, and use the momentum from the leg to again abuse physics and do a side jump and go directly over to the head.
Okay.
So
I will need one moment.
Some
of
serious time.
Okay.
All right, let's do this.
Good positioning. And that was good.
Ooh, okay, that was a little rough. I did get on the lower bracer, but you still are able to make that jump.
That was amazing. Yeah, take that.
Yeah, that is the.
wow.
Saran.
That's one of the quickest ways to take out a boss run, and one of the advanced techniques in the game. So,
boss.
Jade getting it on the first try, that's showing you just how big this game the Jade is.
Yeah, and when you mess that one up, it's not like you have to reset by running all the way over to the cliffs and jumping to your death. So it's a real time loss.
Boss run?
Come on, best
Yeah.
Now he's doing
Trying to gain a plant by letting go and re-grabbing, which I think I just got.
Maybe. Nice.
Okay. One step.
That's a good plant.
There we go. So
Goodbye,
the reason why I
braces.
needed
Oh, wow.
the reason why I needed quiet right there is the cue to start running forward is actually when Bosseron makes a little stompy sound with his it would be his right foot. Once you hear that kind of crash into the ground is when you start to slowly walk up to the Colossus, so that way you get the timing correct. So that's just a small audio cue that most runners use for the any percent timing.
I feel like that's one of the harder tricks to learn, and you did it first try. So I'm still impressed.
Very impressive.
Thank you. He thankfully is kind to me. There will be a Colossus later that is very mean to me.
No, don't say that. You're going to get it.
Well, I appreciate it.
All right. Ooh, that moment with all the doves was directed by John Woo. R.I.P. Where are we headed next?
We're heading to Dirge. This is a
There's going to be a long ride.
This is one of the
okay.
longer rides. Yeah.
All right. So, if I remember correctly, I read this big old long backstory thing, which is really hard to find on the internet. And the way it was explained, I won't give the whole backstory, but the way just a part of it was explained was there was actually a group of people called the Doormen. And those people were angry with the Colossi because they blamed them for like some natural disasters that happened, including a great flood. And so they came into this land to destroy the Colossi as like vengeance, and thinking that would stop the terrible, that would stop Geostorm or whatever, or 2012, the disaster movies from happening. San Andreas. Can you think of any others? Disaster movies? Dante's Peak?
Oh, Dante's Peak. Yep. God, I haven't thought about that
Deep
one
Impact?
in a while.
Does that count? Does that count if it's an asteroid? Does that count? Anyways, so what they didn't realize would happen is that by killing a colossi, it would cause them to become more powerful and slowly gain immortality themselves, but also lose themselves and become more of a collective consciousness. So they realized if we kill these colossi, we will become like a colossi. And so that became their goal, was to kill all of them. And a neat little touch to this, which will make me never look at the tower the same. The tower is where the first colossi was killed, and as each successive one was killed, its remains would migrate and blend into that tower. So that super high tower that we keep spawning in is actually like a collection of many colossi that have been killed and have like been stacked up on each other.
That's interesting.
And then the priests came in before all of them could be killed because they saw that as being like a terrible thing, and instead, split the Doorman souls up. Which is why when you hear Doorman speak, you hear multiple voices and different genders, and yeah. So that's one. Yeah, I really like it, and I read the whole thing. I was like, this is fascinating. I'm in. But you can still have your own theories. What do y'all think?
I like that theory because at the end of the game, and I mean, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, but you are going to see it later. Once we actually get to see Dorman, you can, if you turn your volume way up during that section, you can hear there's like screaming men and women within Dorman, and it's like this crazy amalgamation of souls or something. They're like screaming in torment. It's really spooky, and that kind of lines up with what you're talking about. So anyway, here on Dirge, what we're going to do is bait Dirge to follow us under the sand, and we're mostly doing this the intentional way. You want to shoot the eye once the eyes are visible, and Dirge is then going to get confused, roll around, and then run into a wall.
Oh, Dirge.
Jade's getting a little bit trolled here.
Yep, a little bit. That's okay. Come here, Dirge. You have very pretty eyes.
I want to shoot them.
I'd love to shoot them.
Controlling aggro while looking backwards and shooting is a little bit difficult. So,
there we go.
Yeah, that was good.
So this is our first introduction to precision stabs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, normally on Dirge, there's 2 different sigils you need to stab, and it would normally make you do 2 different cycles of having to shoot the eye and have them run into a wall. Here on this first sigil, if we do some precision stabbing, which I believe is a 50% stab, a 90% stab, and then a full stab, it's going to put the health at just the right amount so that when we go over to the next sigil, all we need to do is just do our 3 full stabs, and we'll have a 1 cycle on Dirge, and we don't have to do that second cycle.
Good job.
I think this is one tiny bit too little. Oh wait, no, it wasn't.
Yay!
Nope, you're good. You got
that
it.
was great. So good. Because the way the game works is once you've completely defeated a sigil, it wants you to do that whole setup again. But because of the
Dirge
damage
will
we
go
did to the
underground.
eye, we can trick it to getting to 50% without fully killing the first sigil.
Yeah, so precision stabs, be it 0.5, what ones do we use? 0.5, 0.8, 0.9, 0.95. That's just kind of positions on the little stamina wheel.
Yeah, you see in the bottom right-hand corner when we're going to stab, there's the wheel dial that's for our stamina. You'll see a little ring come from the center and go outward while we're charging up a stab. And that's what we're talking about when we're saying 0.5 or 0.9, or like I said, 50% or 90%. It's the positioning of where that ring is as it's going outward toward the outside, where a full stab would be.
So, Jade, I have a question. Since you complimented Dirge on its eyes, do you think when you were stabbing it in the back, it was like, hey, my eyes are up here?
That's fair.
Poor little Dirge. Poor little worm.
Poor little thing. So we're coming up here on my favorite Colossus, actually, which is Celosia. Sancho?
This one is one of my least favorite Colossus.
Oh, no. Sancho, I actually don't know. What is your favorite?
Which Colossi is my favorite?
Yeah.
Probably like puzzle-wise, it's Zenobia. I think for like a lot of people, I love the intended puzzle way of doing Zenobia. It's just really, really cool.
I know, and then us as speedrunners have to butcher the puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no puzzle.
There's only button mashing.
But as a connoisseur of good puzzles in games, yeah, I'm going with Zenobia.
I would have to agree. I think Zenobia is also my favorite. Even in the speedrun, I think it's a really cool strategy that we do in the speedrun on Zenobia. So I also think that Zenobia is the best of the Colossi and a very good boy.
Oh.
Coming up on the next one, this one is Celosia, and similar to Zenobia, is a smaller Colossus, and Zenobia we'll see is more like a dog. This one, the developers, I believe the name is Leo, so this is more like a lion. Normally, to get down to the arena, you would want to ride. You see a gorge up ahead, and you have to ride all the way over there to the right and then down into the gorge. What Jade is going to do is right up here to the top of the left lip and jump off of the top and hopefully land directly into the arena.
I believe.
Okay.
Jade knows where to jump. I sometimes forget where to jump and then I just kind of fall all the way down.
Wander does not want to jump off the cliff, which I don't know why. He should trust me. I'm a
Looking pretty
professional.
good. All right, we're in the arena. Jade's just going to run over to where the trigger is for the boss fight. Now, with this boss, normally you want to get it to hit this sconce up here, and a torch is going to fall out. And you use the torch, you light it, and then it's scared of fire, so you kind of bait it or push it back to go over the cliff and fall down. We aren't going to do that, though. What we're going to do is take the torch, run over to the cliff, and kind of bait him over to the cliff to run and try and hit us. And if we actually grab the torch and we're in that state while it's near the cliff, it will trigger the cutscene anyway. And as you can see, the Colossus has fallen down, and we can now see the sigil that is on its back. Jade's going to jump down with a jump stab and quickly take this one out.
Oh, great start. Gosh. Oh boy.
2 jump stabs.
Aww.
Beautiful.
This is another
should
blink it
feel
if you, and you miss
bad.
it sort of Colossus.
You are a terrible person.
Yeah, we're not the
You
hero
should
in this
feel
game.
bad.
Yeah, at this point in the game, I think after we killed Kuramori, the middle one, I think there was a cutscene that pretty much tells us that we are not the hero in this game. It shows a bunch of people who are coming to the Forbidden Land, chasing after us, trying to stop us.
And yet we continue onward.
Yep. Who's next?
Oh yeah. So if you're not able to see chat and wondering what is the humming sound, the humming is actually coming from the game. It is an audio bug, unfortunately, which I didn't reset before starting. So there's just this small amount of. It almost kind of sounds like an air conditioner, but that's not normally in the game. It just requires a little restart, and then it'll stop.
Dang
Yeah,
it,
that's a
Jaden, I
bug.
turned off my space heater for you.
So you could have just said it was the game.
It's a sound bug that comes from the time attack mode. Sometimes going through the time attack, it'll cause that little sound clip to just keep playing over and over. And like Jade said, you have to reset the game to get rid of it. So unfortunately, it's here for the run. It's here along the ride with us.
I was gonna say I thought it could have been the horse. The horse just emits AC.
Yeah, it's just got its own internal battery hum.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a fan attached to the saddle. Wander has to stay cool in the very different biomes that's in the Forbidden Lands.
We're coming up on some more stuff that's very different from the original game. This big forest here is beautiful in the remake, and it's kind of barren in the original game. So we're gonna ride through this neat little forest. It's kind of slow because Agro wants to slow down, and you need to take it all in. But yeah, this is a neat little area before we get to the next Colossus.
And steering her through this can be a little difficult because she will kind of yank herself certain ways because she's like, no, I'm not supposed to be in here. What are you doing? Also, unfortunately, pathing through to Pelagia's arena here is kind of a pain. While Bluepoint did an amazing job, they made this portion where Agro will not go faster than a trot. So we have to sit and constantly make her stop, kickstart her again, probably bonk on a wall or two.
It's almost like Aggro is afraid of falling, which is completely unfounded.
Yeah, there's no reason why she should think that she would ever fall.
No.
No.
Never.
Never.
No.
Not once.
Ever.
Not once. All right.
That got grim.
Don't no one tell chat. It was actually
All right, next up we've got Pelagia coming up here, and
Yay.
there's gonna be a little swim into the arena. A lot of us don't really like Pelagia because there is a bit of RNG here if you don't get the setup right, and Pelagia can kind of get a mind of its own and go off and do things. So Jade is going to be going for a setup though where they're going to shoot the face with an arrow. Well, they're actually going to shoot the shoulder, wait a few seconds, and then shoot the face. And then it's going to prompt Pelagia to bring the face just close enough that Jade can use magnet hands to jump on. And when the face rears back, Jade is going to run up on top of the head and use that moment to steer Pelagia over to the closest one of these towers. Normally, what you would want to do in the fight is swim around to get onto the back and then slowly get it over to one of these towers and bait Pelagia to jump up and expose the sigil on its belly. This is just a quicker way of doing that.
which I stumbled on the way up.
So close.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, it changed the timing.
It did. Yeah, it did.
It was a good try.
Tried to salvage it, but that's okay. We can just climb over her ribs.
Yeah, this is the intended way. You just swim around the back and you can climb up.
Well, normally people will go up the grass, but you can just kind of walk up these ribs of hers, which are very slippery.
Oh. I feel like that's my fault because I was going to start singing the Chili Baby's Back Rib song, and I didn't, and I think that's why you messed up.
That makes a lot of sense. So I'll just blame Sancho.
So since we didn't quite get everything we wanted, Pelagia is in a weird position, and Jade's going to have to use these teeth to guide Pelagia to a tower. Actually, in a more favorable position than I thought.
Yeah, this isn't too bad. I will probably want her to try to shoot me, though.
Yeah.
So normally
she might be.
There's an anime.
She's in that weird spot that's kind of in between,
yeah.
And she's kind of like deciding what to do now.
So normally you're able to. Okay, perfect.
Oh, beautiful. So Pelagia is gonna jump up here and expose the sigil on the chest. This is going to be some precision stabs. We get in a certain spot here on the sigil and do a 0.9 stab and 4 full stabs to get a 1 cycle.
Perfect.
And that was beautifully done.
Yay!
So what happens when you do that is if you understab it just enough to cause... Because normally when you reach a certain... I think it's half health, Pelagia will... dip down, kick you off, and then headbutt the gazebo. So the way that happens is when we stab it that way, it causes her animation to kind of reset, and so that gives us enough time to do another stab.
Hey, Soulmass, what do you call it when you make a mistake on the top of Pelagia's head?
A toothache?
Accidental.
Oh.
Oh, no. That was a good one, Sancho. Thank you.
You're welcome. And there are those shadows again. Similar to the enemies in Eco, but completely different.
It's time to ride through that forest one more time. The same one that we rode through earlier to get to Barba. And over to a Colossus, which is casually a lot of people's favorite. This one is called Phalanx, and it's a completely docile Colossus. It doesn't attack you or anything. If you didn't think you were the bad guy by now, this is the Colossus where you find out you are definitely the bad guy. Because we are going to shoot this flying, majestic creature out of the air and put it down.
And this is the one Colossi, am I correct, that doesn't actually have a way to defend itself?
Other than burrowing around, no.
Or rotating. Like, it doesn't actually... It can't itself do damage to you unless you're, like, trying to get it to do damage to you so that you're like standing under it as it's diving into the ground, which is super hard.
Yeah, that is one way to get damage. There is a category of the game in the extensions. Again,
death
you have
percent.
some fun extended categories.
I invented that category.
Death percent is one of the ones that I've run, and death percent, that is the hardest Colossus and basically the barrier to the run, because there's no way to get damage on that Colossus that will actually kill you unless you get a specific setup while the Colossus is rolling in the top of its arc in the air, and you can get to like the tip of one of its wings, and it throws you up into the air, and there'll be just enough falling damage to kill you.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're running death percent, that's going to be what kills pretty much every single run until you finally get lucky enough. I've submitted on that board because I got Phalanx to do it only once for me, so I completed a run, and now I'm on the board.
Yay! I came up with the category, and I still haven't done the run.
Trust me, I tried to find any other way for Phalanx to kill you, and that is the only way to get enough damage.
Let's talk about this real strat, because there is another way, but let's talk about what we're actually doing right now.
Jade was going for the IL strat, which is the most difficult way to do this one, but missed one of the bow shots.
That's okay, because she turned right anyway.
Yeah, we got a right turn anyway. But yeah, with this Colossus, what you want to do is shoot these 3 air sacs on the bottom with your bow, and then that's going to prompt the Colossus to come down near the ground and lower these little wings. And you're going to jump off of aggro and climb up the wings to get onto the back. Now, this is going to be another example of precision stabs. Like I said, there is a rolling animation that this Colossus can do when you stab the sigils.
Ugh.
And what we do...
She cut
Agro just wanted to run up there for you.
She did. There's actually a way for her to get on the Colossus, which is hilarious.
Yeah, and if you want to see that, look up the Fleet Fatales run that Ruby did.
Yes.
Back in 2020 or whenever. That was great. Anyway, when you get up on top of this Colossus, there's 3 sigils, and you want to be able to get to them quickly, because otherwise the Colossus is going to go back into the ground. And in order to avoid the rolling animation, which wastes a lot of time, what we're going to do is do a 0.9 stab and then a full stab on each sigil. Since you don't completely kill the sigil, it doesn't trigger the rolling animation. Mm-hmm. So Jade's just going to do that on each sigil, run back to the next one, and repeat until the Colossus is dead.
Yeah, very similar in a way to Dirge, the sandworm we defeated earlier.
But even with this strategy, you still need to go pretty fast because you are on a time limit. So if you stumble around too much, these little flaps that you see above the sigils will close on you, and you'll end up stuck in a 2 cycle.
That looks good, though.
Yeah, this is going to be fine.
There we go.
Finally got a jump stab. Yay!
Nice job.
So yeah, death percent, you're just trying to let each Colossi in a boss rush fashion kill you as quickly as possible. There is another way to die with this one, but it involves like taking fall damage and then being in the correct spot for it to, as it dives into the ground, to hit you 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, that's extremely difficult to do though. I tried it for many an hour. There was really no consistent setup for it.
No, there isn't. Yeah, you're right.
I gave up on it very quickly. There's another way I tried was since it has happened casually, you can, and you saw Jade stumble a little bit trying to jump onto one of those fins. If you're grabbed onto the bottom of one of those fins while it's in the ground and it pushes you down far enough into the sand, you can actually clip through the floor and fall down through the abyss and die down there.
Oh,
and
wow!
I tried to find I tried to find a setup for that as well, and I couldn't find one.
All right, so we got our probably longest trek, other than Malice, longest aggro trip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I'm not alluding to anything. Are you alluding to anything?
Should I be alluding to something?
Why would anyone allude to anything?
Yeah, no. There's no portion where we're traveling without aggro. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nope.
No, Agro's doing great. Agro's going to be with us till the end.
Right. There is a part where aggro gets on your back to just kind of even things out. And I thought that was very fair of the devs and very, pro-animal, non-cruelty.
Yeah. Yeah, we're taking her to the Colossus.
That would be a fun mod where you look like aggro and aggro looks like you.
I'm sure someone may try to make that.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I really want a Last Guardian where you're a tiny Trico and there's a giant boy that's just stumbling around.
That would... Oh, my...
That sounds absolutely terrifying.
That does sound terrifying.
Especially if the boy's eyes glow like Trico's.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They have to.
I don't want to see Boy eating the barrels, though. Oh, so you're gonna see unfortunately a sad thing as we go through Bossron's arena. When you do kill the Colossus, you see here that they do have corpses. You can crouch at a Colossus's body and go into what is called reminiscence mode, which will act basically identical to time attack mode, but it is done in a sepia filter, so that way you know it's in the past.
If you're just feeling nostalgic about having killed a certain innocent beast.
Yeah, you want to relive the Colossus trauma, or the Colossus trauma.
Yeah.
I did notice that you got an arrow shot in on Bosseron while you were riding past, so that does mean this run is validated. Runs are not accepted on the leaderboard unless you shoot Valis or shoot Bosseron.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Yes, that may not be true.
That might not be true, but
there are
it's
definitely
true in our
people
hearts.
Whose least favorite Colossi, like many of their runs have died to Bassaran, so they don't mind the extra spite when running past them.
I mean,
time.
we give Bosseron some arrows for Ruby Heart because they hate that Colossus.
Yep.
All right, we are still riding to Zenobia, but we'll be there very soon.
We're gonna be leaving Agra behind here pretty quick and doing some swimming.
This may be a good reminder then to make sure that you hydrate. Hydration is important. Drink water.
Yes, drink water.
Good call.
Wander is about to drink some water.
Yeah, don't drink this water. There's fish in this lake.
I really wish there was a speedrun strat where with RNG, one of the fish would come by at the right moment for you to grab it, and it would just like save you like 5 seconds.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Just by getting you to the edge a little bit faster.
Slippery rock. There we go. So,
going for the rock jump, that's some swag.
You know, I have that more consistent, but, you know, sometimes, you know, the moss on the rock gets slippery and, you know, Wander's feet kind of just slip off. It's definitely Wander's fault, not my fault.
Definitely. All right, so coming up here, we're entering this like forbidden city-like area, and Zenobia is called Cerberus by the developers of the game. So we call Zenobia the good dog guard dog boy in honor of Ruby Heart, and he's just doing a good protecting the city. But we're going to come in here and murder him, sadly. What you would normally do in this fight is climb up a series of pillars, and Zenobia will headbutt the pillars, make them fall over, and they become bridges that you would climb across to get to the next pillar, and you repeat that process until you get over here to this final pillar. As a speedrunner, we can skip all of that. The collision box on this final pillar, if you jump up against it and hold forward, there is a way to get Wander stuck inside the bottom of the collision box.
Yes, good job.
If you hit the jump button while you're mashing it, while you're in that state between underneath the ground with Wander's feet, it'll push Wander out, and the physics of that pushes Wander's jump higher than normal, so we can reach up and grab this pillar.
Uh-oh.
Zenobia, hello?
Oh no, the AI.
Okay,
I think the AI is broken.
Yep, so
we're gonna have to jump over here and fix the AI.
Nice, good job.
Which
Zenobia.
she's,
There we go.
she's doing stuff.
She took the scenic route.
I like that she still hit the pillar. She did a giant U-turn. Still hit it. All right. While this pillar is falling down, Jade is going to try and jump off at a specific time to get on top of this, either on the wall or on top of this platform you see over there. Didn't quite get it, but we're going to climb up there and shoot Zenobia with an arrow. This is basically the intended way now, where we're going to shoot Zenobia with the arrow, bait Zenobia to hit this pillars underneath us, and this platform is going to collapse down on top of her or him and destroy the plating on the back and show the sigil. Now, I use different pronouns for the Colossi because there are no pronouns for them, so we kind of swap them around: her, him, it.
So on both the smaller Colossus, they also have plants where you don't get shaken out of. So if you played this casually and just go, oh, why is Zenobia taking me for a run? You can, by let go and re-grabbing in a certain way, getting this plant. So no matter how much she shakes, you can just get your stabs in.
Yeah, once she starts moving, though, it's really hard to keep stabbing.
Oh, for sure, yeah. So she'll just be stuck in that constant loop of trying to shake us off.
Yeah, if you don't get that plant right, then Zenobia will start running around the arena, and you can't really grab on until Zenobia stops, which doesn't happen very often, and that wastes a whole lot of time. So you want to try and get that plant immediately when you jump down.
And if that hum wasn't there, you could have heard Zenobia whispering, "Tell my mom I love her."
To further our guilt, you know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sancho.
Every time I see that transition, I'm always thinking that there's going to be a blue box that appears out of nowhere.
Ooh wee ooh.
I always think of the beginning of the movie, Look Who's Talking. I'll just leave that at that.
Okay, so this is the penultimate Colossi.
Yeah, this is Jade's favorite Colossus.
That's a lie. This is Argus is the one that gives me the most trouble. Another runner, but more commonly known for her. I forgot the name of the game. The Last Guardian runs Sable Dragon Rook. She and I share a hatred for Argus. So I will use an inside joke and take up my soup knife and avenge her.
Yay! Yeah.
Argus kind of is one of the worst ones to have at the end of the run because this is a difficult trick to pull off and one of the more advanced strategies in the game. Even with hours and hours of practicing, this is one that I still hardly ever can get. But Jade is a lot better at this game than I am, and is going to get it on their first try. I'm calling it now.
All right.
I believe.
We'll call it now.
I believe on first try.
Otherwise, we're going to get a really nice view of the gorge.
Yeah, thankfully there is a giant gorge behind this Colossus, so you can just jump off and do what we call a tactical yeet, and reset the fight, and you can just try immediately again. So we're riding over to the Colossus. It's going to be in this giant Colosseum-like area. And normally what you would do with this Colossus is bait it to interact with the Colosseum as you climb up the sides of the Colosseum. Get it to hit some bridges, which breaks some of the stuff on its arm, exposing a weak spot. And there's all kinds of stuff. That intended way of doing it as a puzzle, again, is much too slow for a speedrunner. Thankfully, this boss has some animations that we can abuse physics, again, to immediately jump up to the head. The first part of the strategy, though, is going to be one where we bait a stomp and then jump onto the left leg, which is the Colossus's right leg, and run parallel and jump parallel to the hand that's holding the sword. And we will use magnet hands and grab at a specific point in the air and zip over to the fur that's on the inside of the palm so that we can stab the palm and get it to drop the sword. Well, it would normally drop the sword if you stepped earlier in the fight doing it intended. But getting rid of that sigil first, we would then jump over to the leg again and do what's called an Argus launch. When Argus starts to walk, it's going to bring its leg upward while walking, and again, we'll do a side jump using that upward leg motion and go directly flying up to the sky and grab onto Argus's head to finish him off at that point.
Yeah, it's a shame we have to skip this cutscene because this is like the most epic entrance of all the Colossi.
Where Argus is kind of, for I don't know how long he's been there, just chilling on the side of the cliff.
I can't wait for my moment. Aw. Yeah, he like slowly climbs up. Very King Kong vibes. It's so cool.
So again, we'll bait the stomp. We're going to jump up here on top of the leg, run, and then jump onto the hand, which we did quite get the setup right on that one.
Yeah, that was a very awkward jump. This is a lovely gorge.
I regret nothing.
Hey, look how beautiful it is down here.
I apologize, chat. I didn't have the slide whistle ready. That happened too fast.
Speedrunning death.
Well, I trusted that you weren't going to have to do that, so.
Well, I appreciate that.
So again, we're going to get this on the first try.
Yeah.
That's looking much better.
Try.
So you really got to see the magnet there. You were like two wander lengths away. Oh my goodness.
So
this is interesting.
That's good enough, though.
You can
right?
get back soon enough, right? Oh, you got the stomp? Oh, that's not the same stomp. Nah.
I can probably...
This might still work. It'll probably still work. Yeah, if you get up close.
Nope. I wasn't in the right spot. That's okay.
Yeah, it's going to turn.
All right.
Let's do it again. But like Sancho was saying, you got to see magnet hands.
You fell too far. Last time you hit the cliff. I ran out of... I wasn't going slowly enough.
I think the best part for that was just here on in Discord. Like we only heard part of that, or at least I only heard part of that.
Oh, right, because the noise gates. Well, you can go back and relive
magnet hands. The magnet hands are insane at this part. As you can see.
Oh, good job. First try.
Oh, that's a good grab. We're going to see the launch now, as soon as the walk animation starts.
Whee!
Directly to the head.
Perfect.
That was a perfect one.
What?
Directly to the sigil.
Alright, come on, Argus.
Ugh.
So I'm
getting some shakes, but this is still a very.
I'm not in a plant, so that's why I'm shaking. There we go.
Beautiful.
So a couple of restarts on that one, but it's not too bad.
I saw it as first try.
So, even. Oh, thank you.
I think this was also like an easy one to get tilted on.
Oh, for sure.
After you've missed that hand thing once or twice, it just like kind of snowballs. So great recovery.
Thank you. And still surprisingly so much faster than doing an intended, because I think the fastest way you can do intended is something like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's quite a while. There's a lot
Yeah, I
of.
think I timed it once, and if you fall off and you miss that strategy and you just switch to intended takes about 4 minutes, I think, versus if you're able to get that and do it perfectly, it's only 1 minute. So intended is about 3 minutes longer. And that's if you can do intended perfectly, which not a lot of people really practice intended unless you run any percent intended category.
Yes, the intended category is very interesting all on its own, where you complete the Colossus using the puzzles intended by the devs. Very fun category to do, and while doing the speedrun strats is very flashy and impressive. Those can also be incredibly difficult to, make the Colossus behave like you want them to in a fast way. Phaedra specifically, trying to get her over to one of the mounds and able to, bend her head so that way we can get on top of her. That one is really
Phaedra
difficult.
is one of the ones. It's a very interesting strategy to manipulate the AI and intended to try and get her to come over to the mound and dip down as quickly as possible. So if you are looking into speedrunning this game, there's a large gradient here as far as skill level. If you're wanting to just get started, you could start with any percent intended and just basically play the game as intended and do it as quickly as possible. There are a couple speedrun strats that you can kind of use to speed things up, but they are ones that don't involve the puzzles that need to be done to kill the Colossi. And then, of course, that from there you can learn each new trick. If you want to come and join the Discord, the Team Eco Speedrun Discord from the Shadow of the Colossus speedrun channel on speedrun.com. We are all happy to help new runners. We love teaching tricks, and it's very cool to learn this game and intend to execute it.
Yeah, and with the extended categories, you can really be like, well, what is it about this game that I love? There's probably a category for it. If you love interacting with the animals, like one of the categories is just interact with the different types of animals. So you're just getting to the turtle as quickly as you can, getting to a fish pond as quick as you can. It's great.
Or if you're a true monster, kill all the animals.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that existed. It really shows our different personalities. I'm like, get killed as quickly as you can by the Colossi. And someone's like, destroy everything that moves.
Almost got the swag strategy of staying on the horse and riding forward, but we had to stop a little bit there for the door.
It's still maybe a little bit faster. I'm not sure, but immediately can go in here.
For people who are sensitive about animals getting hurt, for the next minute or so, you might want to look away. We alluded to it earlier in the run, but there is a point here where we are going to lose our friend Agro. I assure you, Agro does not die. You do see Agro again at the end of the game. But yeah, you might want to look away for a second.
Yeah, this is a very somber moment. We won't be making any kind of jokes right now.
Pablo!
Sorry about that at the end.
You laughed, didn't you?
I did. I got tickled.
It's okay. Agro's fine. She just has a little foot injury, but she'll be okay.
Yeah, you can watch again. Agro is now down there in the gorge and not on the screen anymore. Agro will be back in the credits.
Agro has amazing fall damage. That's just,
Yeah.
Agro has no health bar. Agro is actually immune to damage.
You can shoot her with bomb arrows and nothing happens. She just falls over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which there are bomb arrows in the New Game Plus, which also is an incredibly interesting run.
Mm-hmm. I do have to say, though, I think probably when I wrote the parody song, Me and My Aggro, which is like Me and My Shadow, I think my favorite line that of the whole song is when Aggro says, "Even if my leg is broken, you're a baby with horns."
Climbing up the wall there, there was a very small time save climbing up that wall where you saw Jade wiggling back and forth and doing like a fast climb. Normally you would charge jumps and jump up that wall while grabbing, but if you wiggle the stick while holding up and just the right way, you can climb in like a wiggling fashion, and it makes you climb up the wall quickly. So it's just a neat little trick to save time.
So atmospheric.
So we're coming up on the last Colossus here. We're going to be doing a path to run up to the Colossus that we lovingly call the PDO path for PDO, who you've probably seen in the chat. We wait for the Colossus to shoot this beam and immediately turn over to the left so that the beam hits the pillar. We're going to jump off of this part of the cliff here and whistle to distract the Colossus. Colossus at us.
That's okay. It's just very recoverable.
This is recoverable. But we distract the Colossus at just the right moment so we can get to the spot here. And running along the top here, the Colossus doesn't know what to do. It starts shooting into the pit down there instead of at you. Because normally what you would do with this Colossus is you would follow these pits in order to get up underneath it. But we skip all of that by just running along the surface.
Yeah, and it's not just like running through these tunnels. There's a lot of platforming involved too. It takes quite a while to get to that same spot.
Yeah, so that's a giant time save to skip all of the pits. And to finish this one off, there's just a climb up. We are going to use a certain part here on the architecture where we get a good shot with the arrow up onto a weak spot that's on the shoulder. The intended way to do this Colossus once you get up here is there's a bunch of weak spots, and you're climbing up on its hand and its arm and its shoulder as you shoot the weak spots with your arrow and make it bring its hand over to the shoulder and whatnot. What we do is we go up here and we're going to skip directly to the shoulder weak spot by shooting it with an arrow, and it's going to lower the Colossus's arm down for us to grab onto the arm. And then what we'll do is we'll jump off of the arm once the arm moves toward the Colossus to look at you, and use the momentum of the arm to get up onto the Colossus's chest and run along the shoulder up to the head.
Yeah, this skips so much. It's a great.
And there we go. We're now on top of Todd. And
Todd?
All we got to do now is we got the plant, and we just got to stab our way home.
I call this one Rack-a-Stack because it reminds me of that toddler toy where it's those rings of different sizes that you gotta,
Oh, I lost it.
Jade's getting tic-tacked.
I lost the plant. Sometimes he will shake you out of it if you're not positioned right. There we go. I got it.
Yeah, we got it. So if you get shaken out of this plant or mess up here on this process, we lovingly call it being tic-tacked. Tic-tac is another top runner in our community. And he has lost many runs to Malice for losing that plant or other shenanigans.
Another one bites the dust.
So I'm gonna get your slide whistle ready, Sancho.
Oh, are you gonna do? Okay. Oh, that was
I got caught. So you could actually jump off of that cliff and just have the noodles follow you. So this cutscene is the priest catching up with us. We're very corrupted looking. There's a very emotional cutscene where Wander is reaching for Mono, and they are terrified of Wander because he looks a little demon-like, and they kill him, and then the energy of Dorman kind of spills out of him, and we turn into this very very shadowy, large avatar of Dorman.
I like that.
And the strategy here is we just kind of do nothing, and if we don't really mess with the guys, you see they just start to run away. And that's really the fastest way to deal with this. Otherwise, they'll keep attacking you and just waste time.
Yeah, and you can't kill them. That'd be interesting. You kill them and then you just survive. Yay.
What's interesting is that when you use the button that you call for aggro, you just kind of hear Wander scream in the Dorman form and breathes blue fire.
Oh, Mono's feet look cold. Could you warm them a little bit?
What was that?
We are going to be coming up on time very quickly.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So when we come out of this cutscene, we're going to be running toward this pool of blue liquid and fire. And as soon as we jump into the pool and we hit that pool, it is going to be time. So time is coming up in just a second here.
All right, well, we get to that particular point. If anyone was interested in knowing more about this game or the community,
Time.
And it's time.
yeah, where would they go to learn more about the game, the community, all of that?
Oh, there is a link to the Team Eco Speedrun Discord on speedrun.com. That's probably the best place to, if you're interested in Eco, The Last Guardian, or Shadow of the Colossus. Any of those, you can find us there and chat with us.
Soul, your dogs are awake.
Yep, my dogs heard some owls hooting outside, so you get to hear my dogs.
Oh,
Where are you, like in the woods somewhere? Wait, you
Yeah,
just
our house is right up against the woods, so we hear owls at night, and the dogs get spooked.
Midnight, if you ever need another home for your bird,
Yeah.
I think his dog would love it.
real fast, for anyone that want to follow any one of y'all, where would they go?
If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitch at Soulmass218 or 218, and pretty much everywhere else on Twitter and YouTube. I go by the same thing, Soulmass218. I also run Shadow of the Colossus. I do plan on coming back to any percent intended, and also be doing any percent normal this category. And I also run a few other games. So if you want to come check out my channel and give a follow, I will probably be running Shadow tomorrow night or Wednesday.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Sancho Panda on Twitch, Sancho Panda VTW on Twitter and YouTube. I usually stream pretty late at night, and so I like to call my stream the cure for insomnia. We play really chill games. It's a small crowd, and I'll use my soothing Michael Cera meets Kermit the Frog voice to help you get to sleep.
Sancho streams are very, very good for the insomnia. And Sunbro Jade on any social medias, Twitch, Twitter, and all of that. I do run Shadow of the Colossus. I am also branching out into other speedruns like Solar Ash, Majora's Mask Randomizer has been kind of something I've been playing with as well, but I think I'm going to come back and play more Shadow of the Colossus. I have a very, very old time that I need to beat.
All right. Any final shout-outs?
I was going to say, speaking of times you need to beat, Jade, this was actually a very good run. I see the RTA was a 130, 135, so
It is a pretty.
I think your PB is only like a couple minutes RTA on PS5 faster than this. So this was very close to your PB.
With deaths.
Oh, wow.
With deaths, my IGT will probably be pretty decent. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, you can't get your in-game time right away. You have to wait for the entire cinematic cutscene to end. But anyway, other shout-outs. Ruby Heart. One of the most amazing people that I've met through speedrunning this game. Unfortunately, couldn't race me today, so I got to showcase it for you with Soulmass and Sancho. But they're amazing also at this game. You've probably seen them run it multiple times, but you should also check Ruby Heart out.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Ruby Heart as well. I kind of got into this game because of Ruby, so and I also want to give a shout out to PDO again. PDO and Ruby both really taught Jade and I a lot, and a lot of others, how to run this game. And They're great members of the community. So definitely big shout out to both of them.
Yeah, and a name some people might not recognize, pretty obscure, but this guy, his name is Midnight Vesper, and he invited us to be a part of this.
Oh, thank you.
So shout out to him as well for making this possible.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Vesper.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, yeah, thank you all as well for showcasing this amazing run. Do not forget that while the Bargain Bin may be closing its doors, we do have another show coming up here in just a little bit with She Is Speed, showcasing Fatal Frame 2 and Phasmophobia. While we get all that set up, it's a great time to get up, stretch, hydrate, use the restroom, and get ready for She Is Speed coming up next.